It's Friday! Friday, Freaky Friday! Welcome to the stream, folks. Ugh, what a week. Again, man, this year just keeps delivering. Absolute bangers. If you know what you're looking for, this is such a good market to trade right now, I'm telling you. If you know what you're looking for, it's incredible. Okay, so let's talk about what we're looking for, what we've been looking for. Those have been joining me day after day, week after week, month after month. You've probably made some good money overnight or pre-market. We are absolutely slamming this short right now. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so lots of guys in Discord. We were prepared for this. We were absolutely prepared for this. I told you yesterday on stream and the day before what I thought would happen this week, and we're starting to see it. All right, we created room with this lower Bollinger Band. We found bids early in the week for the Tuesday move. Look where the high week was. Right, look where we fell back inside. Anyone who's done the course, there's your model. Right, failed Thursday, failed Friday, inside bar Thursday, and we are starting to potentially break down lower now because we've spent a session building out liquidity. All right, because we spent the session building that out. So targets, as you can see, we start getting a little bit thin here, don't we? We're starting to lose this shelf here. This is the last 12 months, so this is your yearly profile. This is profile off the high. You can see under here, we get pretty thin. This is where Alex is thinking we've got a chance of going back towards, all right, coming and taking out these stops. We've got relative equal lows, 200-day, lower Bollinger Band, and a lack of volume, all right? I would like to see that taken out. I'm not saying it happens today, but we have built out enough liquidity now that over the next week or two, we can definitely come and take these guys out, and then we can look for this move back into this volume node down here. And if we lose that, all the way back, all right, which will be a Q1 to Q2 move. This is obviously not going to be a move next week, but this may very well be, and we'll go over it on the weekly newsletter, which comes out for free in your inbox tomorrow morning. So if you haven't signed up for it, the links are down below. Sign up for it already. I'm about to get a cover here for those in Discord. Sorry, we've been in this short this morning. Okay, so we're looking for downside pressure, very simply, and we can look at it more on the hourly. Just give me a second here, folks. I'm just going to move my stock down to protect some here because we came right into that OPEX level. I'm trying to get a cover into 700, but I don't really want this to pop up any further. Okay, just move my stop in the money. There we go. All right, so what have we had overnight? What are we looking at? Move this up so you can see it nice and clear. If I changed you onto the right one yet, have I lost myself? There we go. Okay, developing week's profile. We have been shopping, building liquidity here all week. All right, never getting really outside of this distribution from last week. All right, every pop above failed. Every move above these 900s, 25,000 was what? Was the bull trap, right? Was the bull trap from the newsletter. I warned you about it this week so many times, right? The pressure is downside. I cannot explain this enough. The pressure is downside. This is a pullback to go downside, all right? Until they hold a pivot, break and hold, there is not an upside pressure here. So any longs this week were counter trend longs, setting up for this move, which we're having now. All right, overnight, we've had a really nice move. I want you to understand this play here. Swing stops, short stops there. Breakout buyers come in, trap, fail. Down, 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 down. Swing stops, short stops here. Breakout buyers came in Globex. Trap them, down, 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 down. It's the same play over and over and over again. That's how we trap bulls in downside markets, all right? Because they look for the breakout when we are in downside pressure. Just try and remember that. If you learn anything from me, try and remember that. In downside pressure markets, bulls will attack these points here and get themselves caught, just like they did overnight, especially when we've already trapped them up here, all right? So unless we reclaim up there, any bull from this week is absolutely clobbered, and we are seeing expansion mode right now. This level here remains key and has been key for a number of weeks, like we've talked about, but the fact that we've moved point of control up and we failed it to reclaim it this morning was a tell, all right? So once we washed this, failed point of control, we're now outside of previous day's value. We're outside of previous day's point of control. We're outside of previous week's value. We are in value expansion lower right now, right? A bearish tone. Getting very close to this OPEX level here, guys. Sorry for the guys in chat. If we don't snap 710 soon, I will just take this off. But there are bids at 700. So we're coming into value area low on the week, 75s, and under that we're looking for a trade all the way down to 630. So if you're not already in this, well, we're going to have to wait for a pop this morning or something to form some liquidity. Here we comes the 700s, folks, getting ready for a cover here. Unless we snap straight through it. Sorry, folks, I'm not normally in a trade at the open, but I am today. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Getting a little bit thick here, so moving stop a little bit lower just to protect. I want to see a 700 snap here. Okay, so today I'm looking for downside pressure. All right, so this morning, depending what we do here, if we take out the 700s, here's 700s, beautiful. See if we can snap through this now and get. So if we snap through 7s, I'm looking for 77s and then down in this block here. So ideally this morning, what we're going to look for is a pop back up to reject this to move lower. All right, it's going to be the easiest trade this morning. Will be a pop back up to previous day's value area low, or maybe a little bit above, or if they get really aggressive, they're going to come all the way up to 860s. But any pop into here, I'm going to look to fade today. All right, I'm going to look to fade. But we're hitting a lot of my low-hanging fruits already, so we're going to have to be careful. If we look above here, and you want the options levels, here comes the wash under 7s. So moving down now, I'm going to lock these profits in just so I can concentrate. There we go. Options levels I can give to you here. All right, so we've got a big put wall here at 710, which we're currently under. Everything under 915 is negative gamma right now, so we're in a heavy market. Next put wall is not until 24,300, which lines up pretty well with the demand block, which I keep saying we need to come and retest right here from Thursday and even from way, way back before then as well. And we're thin down there. So once we start losing the 500s, we're very, very, very thin. So maybe a drift down towards the lower side of this. Maybe they save it for next week. We know we found bids here, but I would love pops to be sold into today. That's what I'm going to look for. I'm not really going to look for the longs today. I'm going to try and let this pop up and set something up for me to get short into, ideally up into here. So either we're looking for a short sort of from here, or if they want to be very aggressive, into 8. Sorry, not that far. Maybe like there, something like that. A little trap over that for bulls and then fade it back down is what I would be looking at. All right, lower time frame. Let's look at the other indexes. Okay, so if anyone's wondering, we got short as a team here this morning after that news event. Once we started breaking down all in here, we've been fading all of this. All right, missed this first bit, but once we started rejecting, we've been fading all that this morning. All right, let's go to ES. Same thing you're going to see. All right, coming into key level, previous day low. Huge cover point there for ES. We're seeing the same thing. So we came under the close. We haven't wicked under yet. So I mean, we're a little bit thick here, but ideally you'd want a pop-up to be sold into. You don't want to sell the lows, all right? If we sell the lows, then you're going to have to wait for a breakdown and a rejection of this to go lower. You do not want to just be marketing in or limiting in at the lows there. You're asking for trouble. Even if it gets heavy, it's not a good trade. We want this to build out for us properly. Let's have a look at the spiders. Zoom out here a second. All right, so we have liquidity under here. So if we start breaking previous day low, yeah, there's a good chance to move back into the 80s. Let's just put the gamma on so we can see what it is on the... yeah, there you go, 80s. Spot on. All right, so if they start breaking underneath here and staying heavy, you're looking for a trade into 80s. If we go mega wash on OPEX, I'd be very surprised, but if they do, you're looking for 75s, all right? But I don't think we'd do that. I think 80s probably more likely. QQQ, same kind of level. You can see here gamma exposure here at 600. They will try and save it here at 600 again. I would want personally to be looking to pops to fail to come back down and test some of these levels is what I would ideally like to see. Whether it gives it to me or not, we'll have to see. Dixie's starting to base out a bit, interestingly, right? It's starting to find some form of recovery here at the top. The question is this going to be a look above and fail? Because this is pretty squeezy. Are we coming all the way back? Or do they have the strength to sort of do a cup and handle and start pricing a bit higher? Well, time will tell. VIX remains elevated in this huge channel, still over 20, still got a chance to get up to 23, still some supply here at 21. All the time it's elevated, we are going to see bigger moves and downside pressure in this market. All right. Gap down here on Apple, starting to come back down to the bottom of this squeeze. We talked about it. We can think about this. That was a good cover into the 700s by the looks of it. Into this golden pocket. So do they find a bid here? They're going to have to come and reclaim 60s here. Let's take this off so it's a bit cleaner. They're going to have to reclaim 60s here. But gap down on Apple, but I wouldn't want to be selling these lows on Apple. But anyone who's swing from the last few sessions, you look good. I would just be paying yourself into this and then seeing if you get the breakdown. Amazon gapping up. Interestingly, building a range here versus the old range. All right, old range here. Broke down, failed to break lower. 3 drives, pivot up, building liquidity, holding above that liquidity. It's got a chance. It's got a chance to go. It has. So a little bit stronger here. But once they lose sort of 203s, they're going to come revisit 200. So we'll keep an eye on that today. Goog, big move up after hours. So after hours of pre-market, giving it all back into this shelf at 305. So does Goog find a bid here at 305s to drive higher? If not, that's going to be a look above and a fail, and that will continue for downside slides and pressure on a Goog. So they've really got to hold those 305s on Goog. Meta, that looks kind of ugly, just boxed in. All right, look above fail, look below fail, boxed in. It is trying to box into curl. But, you know, if they don't get going soon, we're going to see more downside pressure. Market doesn't look very nice right now. Microsoft, another gap down. That looks ugly. Does not look good. That's downside pressure. Look above and fail again. Here you go. Look above and fail yesterday. Downside pressure. If we take out those lows, watch out below. Nvidia, same kind of story. Good pump though. Pullback. Sideways action here. So pinned in here from 85 to 88, 89. See how it builds out. If it loses 85s, probably back down to 81s fairly quickly, I would say. Tesla, what an ugly chart this has been for a while. Bull trap, failure. Bull trap, come back down, building liquidity here. Cannot reclaim right now. 400's huge, 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 huge level. Let's have a look at the options on Tesla because we're in expiry date. Yeah, pinned, absolutely pinned there. Don't like that. That is pretty much it. Let's have a look how some of these other names are doing. Oracle starting to give back a bit. Where are we at with Netflix? Starting to pull back inside a bit. I'd like to see this lower, like I've talked about numerous times. AMD still around the 200s, hovering not too bad so far. The Treasury's got it. Still can't get going. Still can't get going on that 10. Where's the 30? Okay. Okay, so really today, heavy market. If we reclaim there's potential for a squeeze, I will probably be leaving the squeezes alone today, like I talked about. I'd rather stick downside, but again, I've already made my money pre-market today. Already made my money pre-market. We already did Goog. We already did it. Whoever's asking, we did it. You're late. Rewind. Yeah, targets hit here really. If we get more downside pressure again, I'll be looking for 673s and down into here. But I would like to see a pop that fails this morning out the gate. All right, I don't want to short the lows particularly. It's potential that they fail 750s. It's not ideal. But what we would like really is a big old squeeze up, all right, to be sold into, something like that. But I might be asking for too much. Maybe it's just going to be here or here for downside pressure. But we're going to see, folks. We'll just give it a chance to sort of settle at the open. Like I said, we've made our money in Discord. Did I catch it on Discord? Yes, we did. We did. I can show you. Where's my Discord? Where are you? All right, we've all been in it. Short for some time. Zoom up. All right, so we were prepared for it last night. I didn't show you last night. I'm coming into this open here. We were looking for these moves. We got this move last night to 25,000. Then we got this sell after the trap. And now we're in this move back down. And looking for this morning. And we talked about, here we go, saying I'm short side. And there's my first entry. And then I add on the next pop inside. All right, and this is all called live. And then we covered into 700s, and everyone made a ton of money with me on the way down. So yes, we did it. We took it. We've made our money. We've made a lot of money this morning. We're very happy in Discord. Oh my God, look at this flush. All right, so they're going to go right down to here, 70s, and then they're going to attack the 600s. So it's just, is there going to be a way of getting in? Is going to be the hardest thing right now. It's going to be the hardest thing right now. They're going to get heavy. We're going to need a drive up to sell, because we are not going to sell the lows, right? It's a mugs game selling the lows. If we're going to stay heavy, we're going to need a drive up. ES taking out previous day lows, so wicked it by maybe a tick there. I'm looking to see if this can trade back into sort of 750, maybe all the way up to 800s. And then I'll see if there's a short setting up, if we can do that. Read out on the mag while we're here. Tesla 1% down, Nvidia 0.88% down, Microsoft 0.5% down, Meta 0.40% down. Google strong one today, coming up to 1% up. Amazon's just gone red to green. So basically flat, and Apple 0.82% down, being sold into. We would like to see this drive higher right now. It's not because I'm a bull, it's quite the opposite. It's because I'm looking for a location to potentially get more short into, and I do not want to short the lows, because currently we are bouncing off this blue line, or near this blue line, which is value area low on the developing week. So this is discount since Sunday. Okay, so we want this to drive higher. Maybe reject value area low from yesterday, maybe point of control from yesterday, anywhere up here, maybe point of control from the week. But anywhere up here, if I see bulls get trapped, I will be looking for a short continuation. If we reclaim and there are no bull traps, obviously I won't be playing. And like I said, I've made my money already for the day, folks. I'm just being honest with you, made good money for the day. But anywhere into here, if we see bulls getting trapped, this should be grey really now. We've traded under it. All right, if we see bulls getting trapped into here, I'm interested. So the higher the squeeze, the better in my mind. Remember, it's OPEX. We must remember it's OPEX, right? So here comes the squeeze back up. Beautiful. Can we keep going higher and then trap some bulls, and then I can think about a short. The higher the better here. They are absolutely ripping faces right now. So far looking pretty good. Lifting into 780s. Lots of buyers came in at 760 there. How high can we go? Can we come to previous week close maybe, which is the 800s? And where did we leave an imbalance? That Newsweek high will be 860. I don't think we'll make it there, but we will see. We will see. So lots of buyers chasing in here. Once these guys trap themselves, I think we'll have a short opportunity. Getting very close to one already. Lots of them chasing the 85s, just giving this a chance to settle. Can you lift a little bit higher here? Watching 800s, and I'll also watch up here to 830s. This is point of control for the current week. So any lift up into there, if I see bulls get trapped, I will think about the short. Yeah, well, 600's definitely a big level on QQQ. All right, it was a put wall there, and we went under it on QQQ and then found a bid, right? So it's very, very possible. And here's previous day point of control. I have it a little bit higher on NinjaTrader, I'll be honest. I have it at 50s on NinjaTrader. So just waiting to see if bulls come and get themselves caught in this lift up. And if it offers a short. And very close to VWAP here as well. So previous day point of control here. I actually have it further up here. Here's a big level up into this, right? Massive level up here. That's a good old squeeze. If you took the counter trend long, good for you. Like I said, I think it was probably a long out the gate, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to focus on where bulls get themselves caught, which is probably coming sooner rather than later. Big buyer coming in here at 10s. Do they have much more juice here? Big buyer coming in at 10s, 8-10s. Can they get to 50s or not? They're trying to support the bid here at 85s. Sorry, it's a fast moving tape here this morning. Give me a chance, folks. If you're new here. And looking to try and lift to 850s by the looks of it. Huge buyer at 10s, right? So currently we've got a bit of a shelf developing at 10s. You can see it right here. It's a big level. All right, we're filling some of these imbalances above. And if we start to get stuck here, there'd be a big wash. Here comes the start of the wash. So watching this bid at 85 and 90 to see if he supports it into this low volume node. And if we come under 90, we're probably going to come straight down to 80. And then I'm just going to start getting interested if they've trapped enough. Do they have one more pump in them? Big seller coming in here at 800. So they're trying to force it under the 800s right now, these sellers. Here comes 40s, his previous day point of control. They're still lifting. It's a big lift. So we're going to come up for that Newswick maybe at 64, which would be impressive and close the gap. So shorts definitely get caught of those lows. Still no buyers trapped. No failures yet. It's an impressive lift. You just wonder, are they going to pin QQQ all the way back to 605s and burn all the premiums on OPEX? Maybe. Maybe. You just wonder, don't you? What games do they want to play this week? So almost there, almost taking out that Newswick. Huge push. Remember, this is where the sell started from. Which will be, what, 65s? And then previous day value area high. Be an impressive. It would be an impressive hold off the lows. That's why we don't short the lows. All of tech finding a bid here off those lows. So coming straight back up into previous day value area high. That is a really impressive squeeze. Really impressive squeeze here. And right up to that Newswick. And this is what matters now, into this level. I was not convinced we'd come this high. I'll be honest with you. This is impressive. But it's been straight up. So watching this pin now at 850. At this moment, we might as well go and take out all the liquidity above and set another trap if they're going to do it. Any pullback that now that holds 800 could potentially be bullish, all right, based on what we've seen here this morning. So if they, oh, here we go. Now they're clearing it out. This is what they need to do. ES almost closed the gap as well. SPY did close the gap. QQQ did close the gap. NQ did close the gap. So divergence to ES, which has not quite closed its cash gap yet. So slightly stuck here into these value area levels. We did sweep now. I am just wondering, do they want to come all the way up to 915 right now? We'll see. Shelf developing here. Remember, we're straight up. We can go straight back down. This level here is going to be key, 808s. All right, so shelf developing here. It's kind of a nasty shelf because they've done it in 2 blocks. All right, shelf developing here. This will be key now, these 806s. You can just call it 800s. If they hold that or not is going to be key. Starting to lose this shelf. If they lose this shelf, we will probably back test here. If they hold this shelf, then they're going to go for a clear out. Do they really want to go for Globex in one go? What is that level on Qs? 85. What is it on NQ? 915. Okay, watching in case they let this go. Looks pretty bullish still at the moment, but if they do let it go, we're very thin. We can get back down very quickly for a 30-40 point flush. Here we go, they're testing it at the moment. There might be a short coming up here, folks, down towards those 810s. Here it comes. Into the first imbalance here. Do they let this go and go 810s? So in short here, small size, just in case we start going. Here we come. So 22s was a big buyer. Here we're coming for the 10s now. Here's the 22 lot. Can we get into the 800s like we just talked about? So short versus this, just watching for covers into here. I've got to be careful here at 26s because there is a buyer there. So I already paid a little bit there. Do not want to see us reclaim this grey box. If we reclaim the grey box, I will cut it. And just look ideally for this move into 810s. If this is the squeeze over. If they rebid 10s, then I'll just cut the whole thing. Back into grey box. So cutting this now, can always reattack. It's just ugly how they've built this node here. It'd be really nice if this was thinner all the way down here. It'd give me more of a shot of it. And then I'd be willing to bid as well, by the way, to make that clear. If this was the wash, if they came back down here and they held, right, if they came back down here and held, I'd be willing to bid. I don't want to bid up here. It's too squeezy. You're asking to get hurt in my mind. But it's OPEX. Just remember, it's OPEX. We can do some wild, wild things on OPEX first. More news coming? Yeah, there is more news coming. Where are we at? 9:45. Yeah, 5 minutes. PMI. And then 10 o'clock, you've got some delayed reports. All right. So from last year, I mean, what a joke. From the government shutdown and consumer sentiment revised. I mean, we've got so much news today. 9:45, 10 o'clock. Man, I am wondering, are they going to pin QQQ up to 605 to burn all the options? Like I said, the easy money was made pre-market. We nailed this short pre-market. All right, this short down to here. This was to the low-hanging fruit. This is a squeeze back up. It's not technically a bullish move back up until they bid and hold. Remember, we've lost volume. We've come right into this pink line, though. This block here is massive. The reason being, this is our developing week level right here, folks. All right, so this is a massive node here. All right, get above this. You can argue a break to take all this out is possible after sweeping this. Reject this, we will come back downside. Technically, for the bullish move, you want to see it pull back and hold something, not just squeeze. If it keeps squeezing, it was going to make an entry very, very hard, even if we want to get long to clear out the stops at the highs. It's going to make it very, very hard. Here it comes. So we're coming all the way back up to 605s, like we just talked about on QQQ. 685 would be the level on SPY, and we're coming back up to value area high. This is a really impressive move off those lows in one go. Really, really, really impressive. All right, Globex is at 984, so this is the stop from Globex. They're really shoving this now. Just going to sit back and watch and enjoy. Was a good trade from 25,000? Yeah, it was a great trade overnight from 25,000. Great trade overnight from 25,000. This opening 15-minute bar is monstrous. Monstrous. Welcome to OPEX. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. They probably want Globex at this point. They're that high up. You might as well go and get it, I would say, at this point. Where did sellers last come in? Around here at 20s. I don't think we're done. We did just trap the buyer there at 45s, but I don't think we're done with this yet. This would be stopping short, although ES did just take out his Globex level, in fairness. I don't think we're done with it quite yet. I think it might have one more big shove. So we're going to come and retest 900s here by the look of it. There's the retest of 900s. We did trap a buyer up there at 44s, but I'd like us to do a little bit more than that. Sorry guys, just trying to zoom in, see where these players are, because we've moved so quick, it's hard to see. So sellers came in at 20s. There is a buyer stuck up at 44, 45. I would really like us to come and complete this now. We might as well come and take all this out. This would be your level. This is your over-under for the day, okay? This isn't just today's level. This is this current week's level, all right? Over that, potentially we can do this. Under this, wash back down. This is the chop level. So be very, very careful playing around sort of 44s to 75s today. 44s to 75s. Yeah, news coming out here in 6 seconds, folks. 6 seconds to the news. Maybe they shove it up and clear everything and then drop it. We will see. Delayed report, maybe. Oh, they're trying. The book is completely cleared out, by the way. There's no orders on the book. Everyone's waiting for this news, which clearly hasn't hit the tape yet. Orders coming back on the book now. Yeah, look at that. 885. We got stuck. 685 again. 685, not 885. Got stuck 685 on spiders again. 686 is its first cool wall. And we're back in positive gamma over 605 currently, which on NQ is over 915s. So where we're building out. So if they can hold above this, potentially positive gamma up to 25,000 for you guys playing the options. In your OPEX, you've got to be absolutely mental in my mind to be doing that on OPEX, but hey. Can I explain Globex? It's the high and lows in those sessions. That's all it is. Yeah, Lucid has a 50% sale, quite right. You can use code FCT up to 2 accounts. Any size you want, but just 2 accounts. They're limiting it to 2 accounts. So code FCT will get you 50% off on Lucid right now. What does the close to cash gap mean? It's where we closed at 4 o'clock in the normal market, all right, where volume is created. So do they lift here to 85 and maybe do they come all the way up here? The wash, it's continuing. I will tell you, if we start basing over 950, 960, if they not just get there, if they can base over it on the H1, it's going to look very bullish. For the short term, not the long term. Very bullish for the short term. But really, we need to see a pullback in this market to 860. We need this market. If we're going to be really bullish today, we need to prove that it's willing to hold this, because this is a straight up. We need it to prove that it can hold that to move higher. If it can't prove that, it's going to be very, very, very hard to get long. If we really think there's going to be a long here, it has to hold that, and then we can attack the liquidity. 86s, 25,050s, and 25,134s, but it's going to have to hold this. Failure to hold that will just mean it's a straight squeeze and nothing. So here we go. Might be coming down to check that level now. Remember, we've been squeezed up, folks. So this is the level down here. They must hold this, bulls. If they've really got intent in doing some damage today to the upside, they must hold it. Shelf here, we're going to come down into here. If we lose this shelf, 900s, we're going to come and test 60s. Oh, sorry, trade into Globex low. Yes, sorry, my bad. Banged into Globex low. I think that's what it is there. Yeah, it traded into like a pivot there at 83s. Right, so the low from, I don't know, 945. The high on Globex is 905s or something. Sorry about that. Maybe I read it. Maybe I said it the wrong thing. Trying to read stuff quickly. We're right at that gamma level, right? 915. It's a big over under here, right here. So we lose this, we're probably going to come and back test this. Right. So if we lose this level, we will probably back test this. They will need to bid off this to complete that move. If they lose this, we will drop the whole thing. This is your chop range, right? If you lose this, we'll lose the whole bid. If they come into here, bulls have got a shot to try and take out the highs. I would not want to be bidding here without a back test of this, knowing that this is firm. It's such a big level, not just on this time frame like I talked about, on the whole week. It is a massive, massive level. Potentially longs if they hold 860, right? Or this kind of area, 860, 850, 840. I would consider shorts if they lose it, right? It's such a big level. It's such a big level. And remember, we're in a rotational market. We remain in a rotational market. Let me just zoom in. All right, we're back in an inside day. So so far we've done a look below and failed. Traded back inside. We haven't got back to the high side. So you know, they can, honestly, they can give this whole move back, but let's just see how we act when we come into here. These are the big levels now that we're drifting into. These are the big levels. There's a big squeeze up today. Sellers starting to come in here more aggressively, so we're starting to get close to these levels where they will need to bid. Right around here, you can see it. They must bid here. If they don't bid here and they lose this level, you cannot rule out right back to low of day. It might sound wild to you, but that's what you cannot rule out. So far, we're seeing sellers come in here. In the moment, they're starting to get absorbed, which is a good look for these buyers. So there's potential bids coming in here to support action around here. This grey box is what needs to hold. If you're looking for longs today, you would need this grey box to hold. It's a decent hold so far. Seller came in there at 880s. I'd really like to see this lower first, just to prove to me that they're there. Where's VWAP right now? 46s. Here's the VWAP test. All right, so this is where they've got a bid. Right here, right now, they must bid and start ripping this thing higher. All right, they cannot afford to lose this. It's very simple. They lose this, they are in big shit. Because it's a big squeeze up. They will give the whole big squeeze up back if they lose this. Big sellers coming in here. So far, absorption is trying to take place. Into these VWAPs, previous day close. So watching this both ways. Either they bid or they lose it and we rotate the whole thing back down. They're trying to bid. That's a good bid so far. Can they reclaim top of this grey box and start squeezing over sort of 74, 75s? Here we go. So in a small piece, very small piece because it's very early, but we got some sellers caught at 63s here. So I'm long a small bit here and let's see if we've got a shot. Might be a little bit early. Don't want to see these buyers get caught into 70s, which I just saw there. We need to get back over that now and really want to get over 80s and then we've got a shot. Give this a chance. They might want to come and dip under a bit further. And I am willing to play short here if we lose it. I want to make that clear. I'm willing to play both ways on this. Nice. You got to lift through this now. Nice. Here we go, folks. Okay, so I want a reclaim of 900s now and then try and squeeze back up to high of day. We've got to get through that 900. There were some buyers called there this morning. Here we go. Come on. Lift it. Come on, Mr. Bid. Up your step. We've got to watch this node here, sort of 910s, right? We've got to get back through this. So I'm long from grey box. I need to see us get through this. That's confirmation. If we fail that, this is possible, right? So I have to be very careful into this level. We must get through that level. Otherwise, it's going to cause me a headache and it might be a short back down. And I'm going to be flexible. I'm telling you, we're in a range. I'm going to be flexible. Fail that 900 there, which is not a good look. Really not a good look here. Trying to give them a chance. Not sure I like it. Taking that off. Can always get back in, like I always talk about. I don't care about the news, folks. I don't know how I can say that to you. News is always priced in ahead of time. It moves the market, provides liquidity, but unless it's an outlier, I really don't care what the print is ever. Are you going to rebid this? Very tight here. You can see this is the chop level. Please don't hang out here all day. Burn all the premiums. Are we going to get going now? Trump about aliens, big news. I mean, if you've been watching me for a year, you know I've been talking about. You guys laughed at me last year when I said 2026, 2027, we will have disclosure. It will rattle all the markets. And people in chat were like, what's wrong with you? Well, fucking wake up and look at what's going on. They are slowly giving you more and more evidence. They're doing it slowly for a reason, so it doesn't completely spook everyone. It's not an if, it's a when. And you can all laugh at me, but we will have disclosure. They do exist. We've known about it forever. It'll be the biggest cover up ever, and there will be lots of government officials put in jail over it. Facts. The end. I'm not discussing it any more than that. If you don't understand that, then I don't know what planet you're living on. Where do you think we got all our tech from? You know, you think mankind went from steam engines to like fucking Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all these new chips overnight? No, I'm sorry, it didn't happen. The increase in tech like that directly links to crashed craft, right? And when they come out and say, hey, we've got zero energy, well, you can fucking kiss goodbye to oil and you can kiss goodbye to political control. And if you want to understand more on that historically, you can read a book like The World's for Sale. World's Not for Sale? World's for Sale? God, come on, Alex. What's it called? The World is for Sale, I'm pretty sure. You understand what America did in the Middle East to control geopolitical events historically forever and still now, right? And still now. It's all to do with oil. It's how we control narrative all the time. Western world. The World is for Sale, that's it. Javier Blas. Still holding here. If we start losing this, they can collapse this whole thing because we're straight squeeze up. But at the moment, they're still bidding and holding here. But we've just gone to sleep around here. I'd like to see this move higher and clear out the levels above. But I'd be willing to play both ways. But at this point, given that we've hit low-hanging fruits to the downside, it'd be nice to see this go higher at this point and clear out those levels above. But we'll see. We'll think about a re-entry if it gives me something. At the moment, we're just going sideways. We keep catching sellers into 50s. And we keep catching the buyers into 80s. And we can't break out of either side of that. So we've just gone to sleep here. Which Nasdaq chart are you looking at? I'm not sure what kind of question that is. There's only one chart and one contract, NQH. You can look at NQ1, NQH. It would give you the same price right now. NQ1 is aggregated of all the contracts. NQH is the current contract we're on. They want to lift back to the 900s here. It's what they're trying to do and test the 910s that we've talked about. I'm tempted to try another long here to try and get up into these 910s. Every time we come into these 80s, buyers are getting caught. And every time we come down into 60s and 50s, sellers are getting caught. We're very tight in here. They are trying to get to 910s. You can see the bid starting to develop here. They are really trying to get this squeeze up to 910s here. Look at that. 90s failing again. Can you get up to 910s? Here we go. All right, in this now. Here we go. Here's the 910s. So selling a little piece in this. And let's see if we can really get going here, folks. God, that is a jumpy bid. They've just cleared the book. Be very careful. We've just cleared the book into the next news coming out. So there's the 910s tag. So covering some into that or selling some into that. I've got a small piece on here. I'm going to move my stop to 80s here because we've got news coming in case this happens. There you go. What the fuck was that? Book's cleared out. What is this book? That's mental. Oh, that's funny. Alex, don't use all your bullets. Hey, mate, I'm good. Honestly, don't worry about me. I've absolutely murdered today already. Trust me. Trust me. I've absolutely crushed today. Here we go. So here's the 910s, 920s. If they get through this now, we should come up. They knocked me out on that horrible wick. We should come and lift all the way up to 84s. All right. So if they can now, this is the level we said. If buyers can hold this, all right, we will bid back up to here. There's your TP1. If we get through this, we should come and clear this out now. All right, we should come and clear this out now. Through here, we should now come up here. It's just a shame they had to do it on fucking news, isn't it? Just to make it really hard. But here you go. Here we go. Tariff ruling may come out. Yeah, it may come out. I mean, there's lots of if, buts, and maybes today. Hey, there we go. I hate it when they do it on news. It makes it impossible to sit in it. Got him. Got him. All right, so there's your grey box hold. All the time we're above that, we said, pull back to here. If bulls hold this, we should come and clear out. And there's the hold through the 10s. There's the clear out. Shorts got trapped. The only short would have been underneath this for the fail. All right, and here's your level for your TP. So if you did get that, you should be TPing some out into this. And your next level to come and take out is the top of this red box above. I need to extend this slightly higher into here. And if they want to be absolutely disgusting today, they are going to take you all the way up to 25,350. And I'm not going to rule it out because it's OPEX. All right, I'm not going to rule it out because it's OPEX. Just past 5 evals on that. There you go. So held the grey box and up to supply. I'm going to see, like I said, very thin market here. But you see how I was flexible today. I was looking for the shorts. Once we ripped too far, I was looking for the pullback and hold. Like, you have to be willing to change narrative. Trump tariffs struck down by US Supreme Court. What does that mean? Can someone make sense of that for me? Struck down. Can we use a better phrase there? What are you trying to say? Supreme Court issues ruling in challenge to legality of Trump's global tariffs. What does struck down mean? Not allowed? Does that mean not allowed? Like, what is the fucking language there? I speak English. Struck down? Not allowed. Illegal. Okay, so we've got illegal tariffs. All right, fantastic. So how, someone answer me now, how are we going to give back all the money that we've taken then? How are we giving back all the money that I've taken? So we're just adding on to the US deficit, right? All the money that they've taken illegally, they're going to have to get back. What a fucking shitstorm that is going to be. What a shitstorm that's going to be. You got to laugh at US politics. Sorry, I know you guys are, most of you are from here, but it is a fucking joke. What a joke. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It is a joke. What's more debt? It's already high. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I would let this settle down. That's pretty big news. They're going to have to digest that and see how they feel about that. They're going to have to digest that and see how they feel about that. Consumer sentiment came in slightly cooler. Not that anyone cares. All right, let this settle down. These are big moves here, folks, this morning. All right, we came into our target, down into, look at this, current week value area low. All right, that was our target for the short that we had this morning, pre-market, and we've now ripped 400 points in the first 30 minutes off that low, taking out previous day high, coming into that supply block of that trap that we set on Wednesday. If they get above this supply block, we might come up to this naked point of control. All right. If they decide that they don't mind this ruling, they might come all the way up to here today. It's wild, but it's possible. All right. It's Freaky Friday, guys. It's OPEX Friday. If you're new to trading, I'm just going to tell you, like, this is what you get on OPEX, and now we've got every big piece of sentiment news possible. Look at these fucking moves. Holy. What's a naked point of control? It's an untested naked point of control. It's an untested point of control. So last week we set point of control. This was value from last week, right? This is fair value. We've never retested it. It's very unlikely we don't retest it within the first 2 weeks. Normally you get a retest within the first 2 weeks. Normally it's within the first couple sessions, but we haven't come and retested it. All right, grey box is still key for sentiment here. So we've just ripped off that grey box about 200 points in, 3 minutes, and we've given that whole thing back, and we're back to this same level. All right, and I tell you what, there were lots of buyers coming in for that big shove. So I'm going to show you here. I'll move this across so you guys can see. All right, in that big shove up, we had sellers caught. All right, sellers caught into this grey box. All right, and then we got the squeeze. This is big buyers coming in, all these sellers covering. Big squeeze out. Cleared all the levels. We had buyers here at 75, 25,000, 25,050, 25,079. We're starting to come under their levels. Underneath 44s, we will wash the whole thing back, right? So this is the big level that we were looking at earlier today. It's the same thing. I'm not in anything right now, folks. Why? Because it's jumping around like a lunatic, right? And I've made good money today. I'm just going to let this calm down. Was that on Ninja? Yeah, that was on Ninja. It's a type of footprint chart, guys. It's a type of footprint chart on Ninja Trader. This is getting very heavy. They don't like that ruling. They really do not like that ruling right now. Guys, there's 2,200 of you watching, 300 likes. Can we fix that, please? Can we get that fixed, please? Thank you very much. Did everyone in Discord catch the pre-market move? I don't know if everyone did, but a lot of people did. We were ready for it. A lot of people caught the long last night because I gave them where I thought the market would go to. So try and bid off this grey box, and your failure levels will be here into 910s again. All right, 910s will be the failure levels. If they fail to get back above these 910s, then they're going to keep traversing between these. If they reclaim 910s, 920s, then they're going to try and squeeze up to 25,000 again. It's very thin the way we're moving. Be very careful. You want to lower your ATR, your size big time. Your ATR is elevated well above 55. We have had an M1 ATR as high as 174 points this morning. All right, so you're moving on average right now 50 points plus per 1 minute candle. Let that sink into you. You do not need size if you are going to trade this right now. Alex, you brought patience back to my trading game. I've grown balls on holding. Thank you, brother. Hey, nice. Good work, man. Thank you for your analysis today. I recovered half my losses from yesterday. I'm out because I have to do things. There will be other days. Happy OPEX. Yeah, exactly. 50 point in a minute. Yeah, that's what we're averaging right now, folks. So actually averaging well over 50 points per minute. All right, even you can look at this candle here. Look at this develop from this low. There we go. So that is now a 77.1 minute candle. All right. So those of you who are like, oh, I'm going to use a 20-point stop. It's a fixed 20-point stop. Well, market doesn't give two you-know-whats about your 20-point stop today, does it? No, it doesn't. It does not. So you can't use fixed stops based on what you like. You have to use stops based on what the market's telling you. And right now the market's telling you you need massive stops, which means you need tiny size. I got the money I missed yesterday. Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. I didn't take those trades yesterday because I was out of bullets. And then this morning, we wrecked it. We wrecked it. We got everything we looked for. This is just chopping around now, folks. We just got to let this do what it wants. So if they hold bids now over 20s, they will try and revisit 25,000 again. That's a huge bid on, like, ES looks gross on an M5. Do we look the same? Look at this, like, clear out sell, clear out buy, flat. that is awful, guys. That is really quite awful to look at. All right, they're trying to squeeze back 25,000s. Again, no position for me here. We have a cool wall here, 607s. And what do we have above it? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they want to do with this. This is wild. This is wild today. We're in a very unstable environment right now. Quite right. Quite right. That's a very good way of putting it. Very unstable. Very, very unstable environment. Still low on these lights, guys. Let's get like at least up to 1,000. We want to do some giveaways. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I do indeed. It's one of the worst things about living in Los Angeles and being a trader. One of the best things about it is I'm done by lunchtime. Still very whippy. I'm still letting this settle down, folks. We have plenty of time, and I've made plenty of money. No reason to force. What do I do from 5? 6 to 3. What do you mean from 5? On my morning routine. Well, I wake up, I have a coffee, I do some breath work and visualization every single day without failure. I do my pre-market prep in Discord, and then I do my routine with you guys. And then once I'm done for the day, well, I normally take a break at lunch. I go for a walk the dog, go to the gym, do things that make me feel good. And in the afternoon, I might come back and help with Discord, help the guys if there's a trade setting up, and have to edit content and bullshit like that, and then have to look at my other businesses. Do I often trade the pre-market? No. Very rare, but today was just very, very good setup. It was very obvious where we were going to run to, or at least in my mind, it was very obvious where we wanted to move to and who was stuck. Right now, it's not so obvious, right? We're holding this grey box. So bulls technically are in control, lower time frame, but we are technically still in a giant range. We're not finding acceptance outside of current developing value areas. But we are above previous day value area high, and we're inside the previous week value area. So if we are going to traverse the previous week value area, if they're going to be mental today, they're going to do this. It's going to be really mental if they do it. But like I said, it's OPEX. I'm not going to rule that move out. Yeah, visualization. I do, if you want my visualization routines, I do 2 routines. One is just like center and calming myself. So I put myself in what I deem a calm environment for myself and go over what's important for myself. And the other is what kind of trade I'm looking for, right? What my A+ setup is. Like I need to be able to picture my A+ setup without seeing it on a chart. And I can close my eyes and tell you what that looks like. Can I explain OPEX again? Yeah, it's the options expiries, right? So you've got at the moment dailies, weeklies, monthlies expiring, right? So we've got them all expiring at the same time. Why is it special? Because if they all expire at the same time, all right, it's not like normally you're just looking at 0 DTE and they expire each day. And then at the end of the week, you've got weekly. But currently we have weekly, monthlies, and dailies. So you've got 3 different types of traders all trying to get to their levels to make sure they're in the money. And you've got options dealers trying to make sure they're out the money, right? So that's why. Are these volume profile indicators on TradingView? Yeah, this is TradingView. You're looking at TradingView. This is not an indicator. This is a tool. It's in your tools. It's there. You go to volume forecasting, I think is what it's called. Okay, so failed above this same level into 25,000, back into 25,000, 10, 25, 20. If they lose that, they come right back down to 24,875. So 920s needs to hold here. This shelf here, you can see this shelf developing. They are trying to hold this shelf here. We can move this one up a little bit because they've developed this a little bit higher. If it's going to let me, there we go. There we go. We can do this like this. This is the over-under right now. And I'd say that was failure to make a new high, and they need to bid here now, these buyers, to try and force it back up. If they lose this, well, I'd say that they will be in trouble because that's your first failure to make a new high. If they lose this, we probably come back down into here because that failed. So they need to bid this here. Otherwise, you're likely to get this move in my mind. Again, it's so aggressively whippy. They're only just starting to calm down a little bit now. So I'm still letting this just play out and calm down. Right back to point of control here. Buyers are definitely caught up at 977. So here you go. We've lost that shelf. We're coming into grey box. Now, if they don't bid this, you know what's going to happen. I've warned you already. If they bid this, they're going to have to reclaim 910s, 920s. So I will watch the short here if we start to lose this level. If we start to lose this level, I will watch the short here. They are trying to make us lose these levels. Very, very aggressive here. So if a big seller gets caught, we will absorb right the way up. What am I watching? 56s, call it 50s. Right back down here then. Here we go, 60s. They're going to try and get these 50s, and then they're going to have to make this decision. They will have to make a decision here now. If they lose this, the bulls are going to get absolutely wrecked. So they're going to revisit the seller at 909s and see if he's there. A buyer was at sort of 900. So here's the revisit to 909s coming. And do they squeeze back out? Squeeze right back out. So they saved it. Now, sellers need to sell this now. And if they don't, they will get re-squeezed out. And we're just going to keep chopping. This is like the last few days, to be honest. This is OPEX. So the buyers had a last chance saloon here. Why was there no sell? Because we didn't do this. All right, buyers saved it and value. All right, for the last week, we come back up to here. If they base over here, they squeeze right the way back up to here again. Here you go. So it's just whip, whip, whip. Again, massive candle. Look, you're looking, this is a 100.1 minute candle off value, right? Understand that, folks. We just moved from 863 to 965 in 1 minute off value. Oh, it's amazing. This is an amazing market. If you were willing to bid that, I'm not fucking touching this. If you were willing to bid that, fair play to you. Fair play to you. Just pass my lucid with that move. Isn't that wild? You're passing an account in 1 minute. Oh, God, it's funny. These are just not conditions for me. Not like I like volatility, but only when we've got follow through. Only when we've got follow through. We'll let this calm down. Let this calm down. They might come up for all of this now. Now that they've tapped that. Look how many times we've saved that today. All right, so this was the pullback. I was long in, and then I got washed out on that news. So got one TP1 and then washed out here, and then we broke. We came back to that same level. We absorbed. We came back to that same level. We've absorbed. This level is not just from today. I'm going to remind you the importance of this level, higher time frame. It is this, all right? It's this level. And if we zoom back, it's important, right? For 3 weeks, this level here has been important. Okay, and if we find acceptance over 900 or 25,000, if we do this, we're going to come up for this naked level up here. Big if we're just going to be nasty and burn all the premiums, then what I would imagine we're probably going to do is just be trapped between these. All right, just extreme volatility in there. You can see we've been caught here many, many times, right? I'm looking for acceptance under or over for a really good trade setup. My take on AMD, Joe. As in long term, or what do you mean? Yeah, we're trapped between two gaps. You can see it. And it doesn't look too good, if I'm honest. Gap here, gap here. All right, so sellers caught from here, buyers caught from here. Go from this pivot. Yeah, buyers have got to reclaim 14s. Otherwise, if we start losing, if you start back testing in here and losing this, like if you start back testing into here and losing it and losing this, we're so thin, you're going to come down here real quick. And this is where buyers are going to be hanging out. This is where I bought from last year, right? And I sold most into this push, right? If we come back down here, I'll think about reclaiming it. Otherwise, all the way back down. You don't want to see us leave this, all right? If we leave that, you know what you're going to do if you're thinking about being long. How can you join the course? The link is not working. What do you mean the link's not working? Flowzonetrader.com. Are you telling me the website's down? No, website's up. It's fine. Flowzonetrader.com. You can join on there. All right. Do they re-squeeze then? They just held that last bid. Can we get back to NQ? You can let me get back. There we go. All right. They just held that last bid. They're going to have to hold sort of 25,000s to push value up. It's a big ask, but it's what they need to do. We have buyers currently caught at 25,050. So they're looking for the squeeze up off 25,000 up to 25,050 currently. So if you're long, you can look for this long from here to try and get in through these imbalances. They will try and lift up to 50. Why 50? It's where the buyer's stuck, all right? They're trying to get up to 50, up into 49s, right? So if they keep bidding, look at these buyers that came in, 75 and 25,000. If they lift, they're going for 50. If they get through that, then they can really start ripping. So here they go. Again, I'm not trading this. This is very volatile, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing. Buyers are trying to get you up to 25,050. If you get through that, you might really rip some faces. You're going to have to hold bids around here. It must hold bids here to do it. You must find acceptance here to do this move. If you fail to find acceptance here, right back down to these nodes again. I'm going to wait for us. I'm going to tell you what I'm waiting for. We are need to either going to break under here or over this. All right, I'm going to try and ignore this. I know it's a huge range, but I think you would just get chopped to death in that. So I'm going to try and ignore that and wait for us to make a move outside of it. Norton blocks a site. What does that mean then? Does that mean the guy that's coded it has done something wrong? I'm not, like, I didn't build it. I paid someone. What do I do about that, guys? Because that's not good. I just made 1,300 on my 25k TPT account. My goal is to make 1,500. Will they close it since it's over 50%, or they just raise my goal? They just raise your goal. Okay, I'll tell my dev. Thank you, mate. Well, at least it's Norton and not McAfee. Does anyone watch that doc? Jesus. He's dead now, isn't he? Crazy documentary. Make sure the website has a SSL certificate. I'm going to make a note of this. I'm not a tech guy, so, you know, this is good for me to know. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Died in a freak collapse in Miami. I mean, he fucking went and killed people, didn't he? Didn't he bury them in his beach house? Murdered his next door neighbor. Alex, any sources you would recommend if I want to start visualization? Oh, I don't know, man. I had a psychologist from when I was playing sport, so always done it then. But it's always been something I've been able to do. It's been harder as I got older, to be honest. I'm sure there's tons of resources. You could do meditative practices like with Joe, what's his name, Joe Dispenza and stuff like that, Dr. Joe. And breathwork practices, big time. If you didn't know, I went and trained in that stuff about 3 years ago now for my own good. So I was going through a bit of a crisis in life. I went and did a 12-week intensive meditation and breathwork course, and I enjoyed it a lot. It made a huge impact on my life. So then I went and did a teacher training afterwards, and it's helped a lot. If you've done my course, you'll know that there's a module on breathwork for you in there. Hey mate, new here. You've done great streams and videos. Do you happen to have a video on how to set up the order flow chart on NinjaTrader and the settings for it? How to access it, I do have a video on the free order flow. I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember if I say much else about it. Maybe someone else in chat can remember. I've done so many videos now, but let me post it. Which one did you want for NT? But I use a third-party software, right? So that's the video on order flow for NinjaTrader. But I use third-party software. When you're looking at mine, it's not native inside NinjaTrader. And if you want the software, I can give you a link. Everyone seems to want this software now. I am trying to build my own version of this and clean it up a little bit. But it's costing me a lot of money because I'm not a coder. There we go. Jiu-Jitsu for breathwork? Yeah, I'm sure that's really good. Okay, failing this level, so they're unable to hold this level so far. It's 25,000. Do they dip and rip? Maybe, but we're just going into this profile again. We're just building liquidity. It looks small, doesn't it? It looks small, but it isn't, folks. Right? It's 200 points of chop in here is what we're doing. And that is really the same as all we've done all week. So I'm just going to wait to find acceptance. We had the easy trade today was what we took off the news event. All right, we shorted these pops in Discord. Oh God, eventually it's going to come. We shorted these and these for 700, 710s and value area low from the current week. So we got our move from sort of almost 800s down to 670. So we got 130 points there. And then we were long here on stream and we got knocked out, or at least I got knocked out for news. You guys didn't. There's the long for the clear out, and now nothing. I'm just waiting. There's nothing to do here. For me, I don't know what this market wants to do here. And if someone's telling you they know what to do, they know what it wants to do, I think they're mad. I don't think anyone knows what it wants to do right now. We have no continuation outside any weekly value. Is that daily volume or weekly? This is some from the 9:30 that you're looking at on the screen. Do you think it is important to first have a deep understanding about why the market does what it does, or should you have a model first and then understand it more deeply? I think it's really important you understand why the market moves, because most people don't understand that. And once you understand why a market moves, how an auction operates, then you can make sense of everything. But so many traders are like, yeah, bro. Here's my 5-minute fair value gap, bro. And then we inverse this on a 1-minute fair value gap, bro. And then we're going to this other side of liquidity, bro. Liquidity that doesn't actually exist there, bro. And then shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Like, that's not how we auction, bro. Like, so understand how we auction, right? Any market in the world auctions the same way. The same way as you go to your fruit and veg market is exactly the same, guys. It's exactly the same. You go down, let's say you're looking for a nice piece of beef, right? And you walk down a market with market stalls, all right? So those are all the sellers at the stalls, and they're all selling you a piece of beef. What are you looking for? The best piece of beef at the best possible value, right? You're looking for your fillet cut, all right, at the best possible value. You want a good fillet at best possible value. If you find a vendor selling a shit piece of fillet, you don't want it. If you find a vendor selling a good piece of fillet, but it's way too expensive, you don't want it. What you want is a vendor selling a good piece of fillet, ideally at a discounted price, right? Ideally at a discounted price. Maybe you buy it at a fair value price, something you deem fair. What you don't want to do is pay top dollar for it, okay? And that is literally what we're doing in the market. So what happened today? Well, someone paid top dollar for the fillet up here. Well, what a mug. Don't pay top dollar, because it was only 30 minutes earlier that someone bought the fillet really cheap, and some silly person sold it to him really cheap, all right? Remember, we were short here, all right? And we were buying back by covering here because we knew this was deep discount. Well, people who are smart knew it was deep discount. They bought the fillet cheap, and then they sold the fillet really expensive. Now the problem is we have all these vendors. They can't decide what's cheap and what's expensive, all right? So they keep selling fillet here, buying it back here. This is why we have a range, right? When we leave this and we decide, hey, all of this was too expensive, that beef's too expensive, we'll come back down to discount. If we decide this beef is too cheap, then we're going to go back up to a old level that once upon a time we sold and exchanged our steak cut for fair value. Okay, that's how the market auctions. It has fuck all to do with this fucking nonsense bro bullshit which I see on TikTok. Shut the fuck up, bro. Yeah, bro. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your gob. Shut it, Pam, with a silent B. Bro. That's all they do. That honestly, yeah, bro. Drives me mad. Don't drink and root. Alex, I tagged you on Discord of a picture of my Lucid account. A bit confused if I should try and make the rest of the day today. If you've already made money today, you need to do it another day. Where did you put it? In Lucid? Your balance. Did you make that all in one day? You've traded 2 days. You've only got to make $273. I don't know how you've split that. Your consistency is... You need to make 53,367. I don't know how your consistency split because you've only got 2 trading days. Probably leave it and do it on Monday, my friend. You're a DJ. How? You're a DJ. I feel like you should turn that into a mix. Yeah. Who hurt me? No, literally no one hurt me. Like someone asked a question about should you understand how a market moves before you have a setup? And my argument with that is always yes. I mean, should you understand the rules of American football before you get on the field? Probably, right? Probably. Otherwise, you don't know where to look and you're going to get your head absolutely taken off, right? It's the same thing. In my mind anyway, but, you know. Is it Pam or Pam? Pam, with a silent B. Let's say you have $25 of drawdown left. What would be your plan to scale it back to a decent level? Well, you'd have to go micros, otherwise you've got no chance. And honestly, you're going to need luck on your side, if I'm honest there, because you're really going to struggle. You're really going to struggle. So you're going to have micros. You're going to have to try and catch a trend day where you get a good position and add into your winner without adding more risk. And then you're going to get it back. Have I ever watched Trade Brigade? Yeah, I think it's Matt, right? I think he's good. I think Matt's good. I'll be honest, Matt's one of the few people I respect in the market. He has a good understanding. Which Lucid accounts do I recommend? They're all really good. It's just personal preference. Whether you're looking for daily payouts, whether you want what consistency rule you want. It's between 40 and 60%. I think Lucid Black is 60 and the others are 40 and 50. They're all very, very similar to each other. It just depends which you prefer. It comes down to personal preference. Day 3, take profit, $67 away from passing it. Nice. Is this the guy with a penthouse? Oh, yeah. Or the other guy with like, I made $1 million from this one strategy, which happens every day at 8:30. Nothing happens every day at 8:30, you fucking idiot. You think the market repeats the same thing every day? No. Everyone would be a billionaire. Get out of it. Get out of it. I have no idea. I've never watched Rocket Scooter. Can't comment. No idea at all. Yeah, I saw that. The all those puts bought yesterday. I don't know what to think of that, man. I don't know what to think of that. Like, everyone would just say it's a hedge, but that's an insane amount. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to think of it. $1,400 first day, 1,682 today. Yeah, you need to have another day then. Don't drink. Because today's more than 50%. So you're going to need a third day, which is fine. Don't worry about it. Alex, if possible, could you please consider making a detailed video about setting up the city footprint chart and how you personally adjust it? If you're in the Discord, it's there. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it because there's so much there to do. You'll just have to play around with the settings. Are we sure? No, I'm not anything, guys. I've made this clear. I'm going to wait for us to get outside of all of this. Look, we are boxed in. I know it doesn't look like a box. We are boxed in. This is value on the day. We are boxed in, right? And we're boxed in if we zoom out. This is a big squeeze up, all right? Failed this level pre-market. Sell, 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 sell. New spike. Sell, 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 sell. Squeeze, squeeze, chop. All right, and we're pinned. And until we get outside of these, or a failed look above and back down, or a failed look below and back in, I'm not touching that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If they want to keep it here or stream, there's nothing I can do with it. I am not touching this. Look, there's no way I'm touching something that doesn't know what it wants to do. On a Friday, giving back my money, no thank you. I'm good. I'm good. And VIX is still just sort of trading around 20s. We had a call wall, huge call wall at 20s, and it's just sort of stuck there or thereabouts. We're slightly under it. Yeah, we're just pinned right now. Yeah, every day at 8:30, one thing happens. It turns 8:30, and then 8:31. When the market shot up, if I was short and had a stop loss, would it have sold at my stop loss, or would it have shot past it? What do you mean? Here, probably would have gone straight past it, my friend. We were so thin. You can have a look. We were so thin. There's probably gaps in this chart. Yeah, so if you had your stop loss, if you were short and you had your stop loss at 33s, there's a good chance you wouldn't have been filled till 25,011. All right, you could have easily got skipped from here to here, right? Because that is a void where no orders took place. All right, we went over this yesterday. That's a true gap, right? So it's very easy to have your stop here and get filled up there. That's the danger of trading news. We have tons of gaps, even from the squeeze this morning, right? Look at all these gaps down here, these imbalances. I've got one, actually. Thank you. Did we catch anything? Yeah, Brad, I was short pre-market, so I caught 130 points plus pre-market. All right, so I was short for this move. I had a couple ads on it as well, so I added to winners. So we're short from here, covered some here, and then we had another one backside of this, and covered some sub 700 here. All right, so we had like over 100, 130 points combined. And then we tried longs, and I got knocked out on the news event, break even. Got TP1 and got plucked out. We were trying longs from here to try and clear out this. And there was one wick that took me out. And that was it. I didn't get this. Some of the other guys did. I got knocked out. That like whippy action into the news. And I've left it alone since, just waiting for this thing to calm down. Just to calm down a little bit. Time for a bathroom break or coffee. Well, my wife just came and offered me coffee, but I've got one already. Does the mushroom coffee taste more like mushroom or coffee, Alex? It doesn't really taste like mushroom. It tastes a bit weird. But it's pretty good. I would avoid. There's one called Raise or Rise. Don't have that. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. The one I've got is quite good, which is called Everyday Dose. I think that out of the two, that's better. I will try some other ones. Opinion on PW. This dude prints money on a 1 minute chart with any order flow indicators. You need lots of years experience, I guess. Does he? Okay, if you say so. Got nothing bad to say about PW. I really like him as a person, but I mean, he plays flags, and that's it. If it works for you, it works for you. Does the analysis typically translate to ES? Yeah, it's the same for all markets, mate. Analysis works for all markets. You just got to understand ES is a different market, right? It's not so tech heavy. So you've got relative weakness in ES today. You're under 0.5% up on ES. You're 0.76% up on NQ. Why? Because Google's 3.64% up, Amazon's 2.21% up, Apple's 0.58% up, Meta's 1.87% up, Nvidia's 0.5% up. As an equally weighted index, we're 1.21% up. That's worth over 60% of the NQ, and it's worth only 40% of the ES. And if you look at the broader market, there's probably some laggers out there in the broader market. Let's have a look. What's lagging today? Healthcare. So healthcare's down, and healthcare is not in the NQ, and it is in the ES. And energy is down as well. So you've got two lagging markets. And finance is kind of flat as well. JP Morgan, the big winner, the one up there, but BBK's down, GS down, MS is down, BX is down. So 3 markets or sectors which are not in the Qs, are in the ES, are lagging behind right now. All right, so we're getting close to where I'm interested in an either or kind of play here. Alex, if we break, can we reverse here? There's 2 options here, right? There's 2 options here. Either we are going to sweep and look above and we are going to fail and come back down. We have an options level at 205. So either we're going to do a break, a failure, and trade back inside, or we're going to break and hold, right, and trade up to this naked point of control, which is asking a huge amount. But again, because it's OPEX, I'm not going to rule it out. So I'm interested in either one of these setups here, all right, either one of those, which is what I'm waiting for it to get to a level, and then see if it traps and who it traps. Best tips when it comes to respecting intraday trading drawdown. Size right down and use a trailing stop. It's probably the best thing to do. Thank you, bro. Your channel is the best one I've run into since introduced to trading. I love what you're doing and your members and followers have been profitable since I've been watching you. That's awesome. Rise with coffee does taste better, does it? Oh, that's good to know. Are the prior week levels just updated once a week? Yeah, they're weekly levels, so we draw them out on Sunday or after close on Friday, and then we never touch them again. The biggest thing I've seen, as long as people are disciplined with their setups and what they trade, can be successful without all of Alex's knowledge. Imagine what you can do with Alex. It is about being patient, though, folks. Like, that is literally trading. It is literally trading. What site do I look for options? I use Tanuki right here. Right. But I give it to the students each morning. Every member gets the levels. How do I determine my stops? It's where a trade is no longer valid. All right. So if we take out a key level, if you let's say you're long here looking for this, technically your stop needs to be underneath this swing low, or at least, you know, maybe you're taking a long here and you need to risk the other side of volume, or you're taking a long here risking the other side of volume. You have to have something protecting you. So either if you're long, it needs to be a swing low or a volume shelf protecting you. If you're short, if you were like, you know, short here, it needs to be a swing high or a volume shelf protecting you. All right, it cannot be a made-up number of cash. Right, if you're like, oh, I'm risking $200, and then my stop goes here because it's $200. The market doesn't care about your $200. The market cares about volume and swing points. Is it true 99% of traders fail? I don't think it's 99, but I think it is quite a lot. It's like 90 or 95. What's been the best and the worst trade you've taken dollar-wise? Are we talking swing positions or are we talking intraday? Swing positions, I've had some very big winners. Intraday, I think I've lost. I mean, I've been margined. And that's on a PDT. So I've probably lost 20,000 plus on a reckless, idiotic, add to a loser on a 4 or 5 standard deviation move on a horrible Chinese ticker back in the day. That's why I say don't add to losers, don't fight the trend. Okay, so we're coming up to this swing point here. So this is the high that we put on Wednesday, the top of this red box. So we're watching this now. And above that high, if we're going to get going in base, then there is a possibility, all right, like we talked about, that we'll come up here today if they really want to set the go ahead. Thank you for showing me how to become profitable and a better trader. I've made 730 of my birthday today. Happy birthday. I don't know if Nvidia is going to move the market higher or lower. We'll have to see. What's my view on Oracle? My view on Oracle is the same as all of the software tech. It's oversold. Oracle as a company, I think, has some issues. There's some potential debt issues on it, but I think it's oversold. I've been long on it. I sold a little bit of it. I'm small size now, and I will wait to see if the market completely implodes. If we implode, then software is going to get hit the hardest. Why? Because it already has relative weakness. All right, but I'll be watching to see where we implode to if I want to pick some up. Strong to admit that you've lost. Well, we can't improve as traders if we never admit that we lose. No trader has gone any journey without losing. Losing is an important part of the game. How you adjust to that is important. Those big losses, they happen when, you know, you're an idiot and you're incapable of reflecting on it. And I was most certainly a belligerent idiot who would add to losers and do stupid things, right? So my ego used to get in the way of me trading, and that's why you see me now. How many times do I stop out on stream? Every day. Numerous times every day. Chinese ticker, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happened post-2008. I don't know if any of you have watched the Chinese hustle, but most of those tickers are not on the market anymore. A great film if you've never watched it. If you're interested in trading, go and watch the Chinese hustle. What's the difference between adding to losers and averaging in? Well, averaging in, you should be doing, ideally, you want to be doing, you know, if you're trying to get a core position here, if you're buying dips here and your stops here, that's one thing. Or maybe your core position's here and you're adding here and you're adding here and you're selling on pops, that's different. If you're adding to a loser, what you're doing is not building a core position. It's a load of bullshit. You're just not willing to take a stop, right? So if you're short here, you should stop out, you add more, and you're like, you add more, and you add more, and you add more, and then you blow up, all right? And then the market then rolls down, and you go, oh, I knew I was right. No, you weren't right. You were not right at all. The right thing to do was let the market do this, and then fade it on the backside. It's a totally different ball game. Yeah, maybe a look above and fail, but also potentially a look above and hold. All right, we cannot rule out a look above and hold, mainly because of what we've done on an hourly. All right, if we think about this on the hourly, we set the trap here earlier in the week in Wednesday, right? Lower high, bull trap last night, fail. Okay, leg one, leg two, leg three without a continuation. All right, they can do this. They can do it. They can do it. They can also look above and come back into this area here, and we could close the day down here. It's also possible. Both of these things are possible. So what we're going to have to wait to see, in my mind, is do we get over exuberant bulls get caught here, all right, as we come into this big block and fail back under it and use it to pivot back down lower, or do shorts keep trying and then get caught and then they cover and we get this move? So this is why we're going to be patient and wait. This is why I'm ignoring everything in here. I'm letting it do what it needs to do, and then we can make that decision once we get into the key level. You think you're a failure, you must not talk to yourself like that. All right, you cannot talk negative chat to yourself. You just need to reflect. All right, you just need to be more reflective. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, you need to learn what that same thing is, and you need to adjust. Normally, it is ego that gets in the way of us in life in general. It's ego. So if you keep adding to a loser, it's because your ego is stopping you from stopping out. All right, it's telling you you've made the decision that you're not willing to lose because you think losing a trade is bad. This is why I think athletes struggle the most, right? Athletes are conditioned to win at all costs. That's literally the Lombardian way, right? Win at all costs. We must win. We are only a success if we win. Okay? That is the wrong attitude with trading because this is a zero-sum game. When you've made an error in trading, you must stop out. You must take your risk off the table. If you add to a loser, you are adding risk. You are doubling your risk if you add another contract. If you're one contract short and you add a second contract short out of the money, you're doubling your risk. Not a clever idea. This is your ego stopping you stopping out. The other reason I say to trade with smaller size when you start, because you're more willing to stop out. Because if you're losing $30, $100, $200, it's easy to stop out. If that number becomes too big for you to mentally stop out, instead of stopping out, you'll make that number bigger by adding to it. It's human nature. And once you understand that, you will start stopping out properly. But it takes people a long time and to get burnt to finally understand that. New high on NQ, but not ES. Yeah, and like I said, ES has lagging stuff today, all right? You have healthcare is down, energy is down, and financials are down, all right? What's my grey box indicator? There is no indicator for a grey box. I draw it on. Anyone know if you want to get two lucid accounts, if you can do it at the same time, or is it like Apex? You buy each one separate. You have to buy each one separate. So do visualization too, but it doesn't seem to translate to my daily life. Does that happen to you? What do you mean doesn't translate to daily life? Okay, we still didn't wick that high, right? I'm just gonna make sure that's accurate. I still think we need to take that liquidity before we look at anything else. We are absolutely in supply here. It's not a pair, it's Nasdaq, it's the NQ. It's not a pair. I'm not trading Forex. Chasing that naked POC, yeah, I mean, it very well might be. We cannot rule that out. We cannot rule that out, right? So let's just wait and see how we set up here. I'm going to give this a chance to develop, guys. I'm being nice and slow today. We've had some good trades. I'm now going to give this a chance to develop, right? Now that we've slowed down a bit and we're building liquidity, all right, I'm definitely not going to get short. Really, I would like to see them. If we're going to get short, it needs to take this, do this, reject this, come down to here. That will be a trade, all right? Because this is a big volume level from Wednesday, all right? From here. We trapped up here on Wednesday. Remember where we failed that? Wednesday. We came into this pivot in Thursday, all right? And this is our first time revisiting this level. If we're going to be short here, ideally, it will trap more balls, then come underneath, then offer this. If we're going to be long here, ideally it breaks out, pulls back, does something like this, and then offers that curl back up. All right, I don't really want to bid down here, but I would consider it. But if we add more supply here and come down here, we're less likely to trade back through that. So let's just see, right? Just be patient. You have to be patient. Market's being very volatile today. All of the mag now green, though, finding a strong bid. All right, you know what time it is, so it's probably going to do the move, right? Alex is going to use the bathroom, get a coffee. I'll be right back. Please don't do the move without me. Please. Oh, look at that. Finally, he's able to leave the chart without it doing the move. Finally. So first for this week, I think. Yeah. All you guys thinking it was going to do it as well. There's a bit of me that thought it might. Okay, here's the clear out. Some buyers coming in here. Let's have a look now. What are we going to do, Mr. Market? Right? Do you really want to send it? Are you really going to send it? Previous week open, by the way, is at 150s. We haven't caught enough up here yet. The last big block got paired off at 106s. So I want to see expansion here. If we're going to look for the trap, we're going to have to rip up and then give this whole thing back underneath 100. All right. So if we're going to fade, we're going to have to see a rip up under here, and a drop down into there. And then we can hold just in case. If we're going to rip up and base in this node, then we're going to look for this move here. Ideally, we don't just rip up and base up here. It's going to give me nothing to do if it's going to be nasty and do that. All right, so I'm willing to play both ways here depending on who it traps, because I know we are at a sensitive key level. And we can mark this out inside the old block. So this here is going to be key as your over-under. And I will need to see big lots trapped for me to be really comfortable here. Back to this grey block. So far we've taken the highs. There's not that many trapped up there. It's not the best auction. Not the best auction if we're looking for lower. Obviously flow zones are all upside. IB still, we're above initial balance. So technically potential for a positive trend day, which makes me think maybe, just maybe. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the day, I would not have told you that I thought we had a shot of fucking going up to the naked BOC. But you never know. Thanks for joining, Adam. All right, it's a good hold of this dip right now, so it's making me think maybe they want more. I don't really like how they're building liquidity, all right? I don't want to bid on this like this. Ideally, we don't want to see this. We want to see sort of something like this, all right? Some sort of dip and curl rather than upside liquidity like this. This is easy to get washed out in, so I'm not going to bid on this yet. I'm going to have to see shorts get trapped in this if we're going to play upside. We just caught some bulls up there at 36s. That's the first time I've seen some bulls be caught. You wanted a bloody day? Yeah, I did as well. I mean, we got it. We got it pre-market, right? But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Just going to have a quick look on the others like Apple and stuff. Apple's coming into supply level. Amazon's coming into potential. Google's coming into a pivot. Meta might, if it comes under 660, it can come back down. Softy is just shit. Nvidia's come right up to that old previous day high, that 190. Huge cool wall up there. It's interesting, folks. Everything's coming into key levels at once, other than Softy, because it's garbage right now. Okay, let's see if we wash. Let's see how we act here. So the short will be something like this, and the long will be a little wash and a reclaim like this. All right. Some sellers piling in, getting absorbed here. I'm watching these 90s because they're still bidding the 90s right now. If I'm going to get long, I'd rather they wicked down underneath 90 first and reclaimed very quickly. Fucking hell. You're not going to do it. This is setting up like Wednesday at the moment. Buyer trapped at 29. Yeah, there's I'd say 28 there's a bit of volume, and 20 there's a bit of volume, but there's not huge excess on that high. There's some, right? So 36 and above, there's some, but it's not massive, and we are absorbing these sellers down here into 100. So I'm thinking like we might want to go a little bit higher first. I want to get long if we dip and hold, but we're not dipping and holding. Like we're not washing out this liquidity here. So the bear trap, it's going to be very, very careful, right? The bear move will be this. The bear trap will be a wash and an instant reclaim to get long. That would be a nice long if we do that as well. It's not ideal because we pumped so bloody hard, but we will see. Just give it a little bit of time to develop here, folks. Okay, edge of this grey box. If they lose this and they don't trap, there is an argument all the way back down to 25,000. So there's a 100-point snap here if they do not trap theirs. Thanks, Jeff. Very kind of you. I would say that would get me a coffee in LA, but coffee in LA is just seems to be getting more and more extortionate. But that's very kind of you, my friend. Thank you. Third super on live. You the man. You the man, Jeff. I'm getting 20 Apex accounts. Which 50k should I get? Rhythmic or Tradeify? I'm using NT using your code. I would get Tradeify personally. Come on, are you going to wash or are you going to trap? You got to do something. We've got to see something here either way. So either a snap and a reclaim or a snap and a rejection to roll over to 25k. I'm willing to play both. Yes, holding previous. Is that previous day high? Previous week high. Previous day high. How do I see trap buyers and sellers? I use footprint. I watch order flow. Same on Bookmap. They're trying to rebid this. I need it to wash first. You got to come and take out some of these stops first. If they take out these stops here, buyers will stop out, sellers will come in, and if they reclaim, then I'll know that they want to keep going. And if they stay heavy, then we have a short position. So either way, we need it to break down here and do something. What am I looking for? Probably a break under sort of 100s where we have these buyers hanging out on Bookmap. I'm looking for aggressive sellers to come in, and then I'm looking to see if we see absorption there, if we're going to take it higher, or I'm looking to see if we then reject the breakdown level to trade all the way back down to 25k. So that's exactly what I keep drawing on, but I'm going to use order flow to try and see it. I do not want to see us keep him absorbing 100. We've got to come under that either way just for a clear out. It's just going to make it a much easier trade if we clear out first. They stay much longer, POC move up. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Which won't be a good thing, to be honest, for bulls. How can I tell the difference between buyers and sellers being trapped? Delta. Delta and what we do next. You know, come under 100 and then make a decision. Come on, just come and fill all these guys. Fucking hell, man. You do these fucking 400-point pumps and then you can't come and just like fill some players so that we can see what's next. Come on, give the breakdown and then let's see if you're going to trap or you're going to wash. But at least you got, here we go. Thank God for this. Okay, so what we do now is key. If we stay heavy on the retest, all right, then we're going to be short. And if we reclaim, then we're going to be long for the bear trap down here. So we're watching to see how we act back into 100 right now. It's like watching paint dry. I can't believe after a morning like this, it's like watching paint dry. All right, here comes the retest. Do we reclaim for the squeeze or do we reject for the sell back down to 25k? stacking both sides just to make it extra hard here. Here's the retests. Do they want to push this bid through these guys at 103s? Yes, they do. Do they want to go 120s now? Thinking about a long if we start to hold here. Do they rebid 100 here? What's this little player here? 100.25 and then all the way down to 80. Still no position for me. I'm thinking about potentially a long if they absorb sellers in this candle. It's very risky, but it looks good. Small piece on now versus 100. Sellers just got caught there at 100. Need to see this reclaim 110s now. 110s and 115s. And I'm not going to let this come back under 100. So this might be the trap I was looking for. Lovely. Right, really nice. Let's get through the 15s. This was it. So we washed them out, like I just said. Beautiful. Here we go, folks. So, like I said, need a wash of this. See sellers come in, get absorbed, back into here. We're already long over this. We have a shot. We have a shot if we can get back over this now. So you can take a partial here into this top of this grey box if you want, because it can fail up here. So you can take a partial here. Need to see them absorb 100 or I'll cut. What? Right into my level? They got to hold this little guy here. There's a guy trying to bid 100. Good hold. Come on, buddy. Step up for me. Keep me in this fucking trade. You kept me in by a tick. You're going to do me out again. Don't you fucking do it another day in a row of doing me out on my runners. Don't you do it another day in a row. It's taking me. I'm out. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Buyers still stepping up here. 95s and 80s now. So they're trying to absorb this. They are trying to complete a move higher at the moment. If they lose this grey box, though, like we talked about, like, got to be willing to play both sides. I just haven't seen a strong enough move like this to come down to here. At the moment, it just feels like a bit of a sweep to try and come up. Haven't seen violence hit the tape yet. But it's possible. They are starting to reject. Like I said, we've got to be willing to play both ways here. Big seller coming in there at 95s. Okay, 100 lot at 95s. Oh, they're going to do it now. You fucking dirty dogs. You dirty, dirty, dirty dogs. I tell you now, 95 is now a massive level because we've had a huge seller step on the tape right here. So we know where he's being aggressive. So they're going to try and come down to 50s and then potentially to 25,000s here. So we took Wednesday's high. We've started selling off it. How low do they rotate it now? We're going to watch 95 here. Sellers are in control all the time. We're below 95 right now. If we reclaim that, well, we know what's possible. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it. He's missed it. Into previous day high then. They might very well go back to 25k here. Oh, I might have missed it. I drew it out. I might have missed it. Thought we were going to trap and go. Previous day high here, and then probably down to this node if they let this go. All in one go. There you go. Fucking hell. Oh, it just wouldn't fill me back up for where that seller came in at 95. I was willing to play both ways. Wouldn't fill me back up. What are you going to do? Do they come and retest now? We just filled a buy side imbalance here. on the 5 minute. There's a little bit left below if it wants to go for it. Oh man, am I going to live to regret not slapping that? Possibly. I might live to regret that. I might live to regret that. Trying to play the fucking trap. I might live to regret not slamming that short and waiting for 95 test. I'd be watching here now. If you're short, you need to be covering something to here, okay? To this little level here. 25,000. Oh my God. I can't believe this is all the excess they put on. I thought we would do one more shove and then this. Oh my God. Fuck me. Well, I drew it out. Did anyone catch that even? No, I didn't. Oh, they're slamming this now. Here we go. Coming back down towards this, like we said. Oh my God. Alex is upset. Yeah, you got it. Nice. Well done, folks. Oh, it's hard. The ego hurts. The ego hurts. The ego hurts. Oh. Well played, folks. Well, we drew it out. We said take the high, fail back down to here. I just thought we were going to do one more little go at it, but they did it. They did it. That was it. And then they never gave me another shot at it. After I stopped out, I was like, I'll get short now on the next go in. Cruel market, man. You're either in it or you're not at the moment. We move so quick. There's 100 points from there already. And there's a seller sat at 45s right now. So value area high. He was trying to protect current value area high. So he's trying to force a rotation. So what that seller's trying to say is, hey, here's your look above and fail. Fuck off back to here is what the seller's trying to say. It's sat at 45. If we get through him, they'll try and lift up to here. So it's seller here trying to force this move to here and then down to here. If we get through him, they will try and lift it back up to the 100s or the 90s. What would I look for now? Either a bid down here or a sell back up here, unless we trap. There's a big buyer just come in, 110 lot just come flying in here, trying to get us back through the value area high. So he's just paired off with this seller into 45s. All right, so this buyer, if he gets caught, mark out 44s to 50s, right? As we just had 100 lot come in and fill that seller who just said, hey, you're not coming back up here. And there you go. He's trying to force us down, this seller. So it is now going to be a battle. 45 and 50 is the battle. If we get above 45 and 50, there's a good chance that we do a 50-point rip up towards 95. If we keep failing here, then I think we're going to come down to 25,000 like I've called for down here. Because we're thin down to here, right? We're thin down to here. Thanks, Anthony. Very kind of you. Yeah, 90% sale still on Apex. Can you get back in here? Yeah, I mean, technically you could have faded that, like we said. If he wants to protect this, to force this move into here, and you can hold a runner for down into this and this. So I'll be covering 25,000, 24,900s, and then 875. And you do not want to hold back above 50s. You don't want to hold back above 50s. But sellers are in control right now. Back into this grey box. It might be the Tyson trade, right? IB to VWAP. It might be the Tyson trade. Faded 45, nice. You faded 45, good work. Good work. Man, it's painful. It's painful when you see it, you don't take it, and then you don't get filled because you miss your first opportunity. It's painful. For me, that hurts the ego. That's the ego talking, being like, well, why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? You drew it out. You knew it was going to come. You had one go. You stopped out. If you stopped out, you knew it was going to go the other way. This is what's going on in my head. The chatter. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Mustn't talk like that. Must never, ever talk like that to yourself. Never ever talk like that to yourself. All right, come down to 25,000. If we lose 25,000, you cannot rule out 24,900 right now. VPOC's down there, VWAP's down there. It's possible, folks. If we lose that, we might come down to this. So they will try and bid here. The buyers will attempt to bid here. Some shorts will start covering into these levels. All right, so if you were short from here or here, you must TP into some of this, and then you can hold runners. If they try and bid here, they will try and get this move back to like this. It will probably look like if they do it. You're definitely an idiot 25. What does that mean? Seller's court. I'm not sure about that. I think we've still got a bit more downside here. I don't think sellers are caught yet. They want to come and test these 25s. And then under here, 24,900s, right? Under here, 24,900s is possible. So top of grey box, VWAP, 50s, I guess. Then you have to see what's what. Oh, right. I didn't know what you meant, though. What does the 25 mean? Oh, time. Did you mean times 25? 25 times over. I was just thinking, I'm not 25 years old. I wish I was. Fucking wish I was. Right, getting jumpy into this grey box, like you can see, it's value area high from the developing week. So we know this is a huge area, this grey box now. So we've got 2 huge areas, or 3 huge areas to trade from. 1, 2, 3. All right, and they're probably 50%. This is probably your 50% mark as well. Oh, God. God damn it, Alex. There's a 100-point trade there for you. It's an absolute fucking gift. You waited for it the whole time. What a wally. What a wally. What a wally. The fresh trader, and yeah, he traded long. I mean, I traded the trap here because they trapped here, and I took a tiny TP and stopped out, and then I waited for the retest to get short, and it didn't give me the retest. I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna do? They did trap up there, like they absolutely trapped up there, and then the seller came in at 95 at 11:15, right, with 100 lot, and he just slammed it, and we never got a chance to go back to it. I mean, we just left imbalance after imbalance. They just absolutely slammed it. Like, it's not like I lost on it. I don't know what you're hoping for or thinking that happened. It was a valid setup, and then I waited to go the other way. I called it both ways. I said, like, both things have opportunities here. We talked about it for about an hour. All right, grey box here. So VWAP next. So top of the grey box, lower part of the grey box. Underneath that grey box, you're looking at 918s, and then you're looking all the way down to 876s. Volatility will really pick up around the 918s, guys, just based on the options. Will really pick up there. Almost at VWAP, not quite there. Thanks for joining, Shiz. Reservoir, you're an idiot, mate. You're an idiot. I was looking both. I'm not even going to bother. You're a fucking idiot. You've obviously joined for like 1 second and didn't watch what I called for. I get this whole trade setup, all right? But the first setup it gave was actually a trap for that play, you absolute moron. Which is why everyone else is now short, because we talked about the short. I had my limits waiting for the entry, couldn't get it. Fucking hell. There's always a dick. All right, so bouncing off that grey box. They might still have more left to come through here if they really want to go deeper into these 60s, which is where they sold really hard this morning at 56s and 63s. And they just sold again on this last candle at 85. So they're trying to get aggressive down into that. ES into VWAP here, into its New York VWAP. 86, a big level on the spiders. VPOC down here now, based on Delta. I really want to see how we act into 50s, 60s and 50s, where the sellers came in this morning. All right, I really want to see how we act into here, right, where these big sellers came in this morning. And if we lose that, we're probably going to go 900s. But they're starting to get very, very aggressive down here. And you would expect there's probably a bid sooner rather than later if they don't get this move to the bottom side. Trying to wait for it to visit 50s and 60s before I do anything. Seller's getting caught there a little bit again. Into 85s, he's caught again. Not deep enough yet. Am I from Sheffield? No. Do I sound like I'm from Sheff? Don't sound like Jamie Duggan. Come on. How do I input the grey boxes? What do you mean? I just draw them out. I just draw them out. All right, is the lift back to 25 through the 25s? They might lift up to 25, 45, and 50s where that buyer last got himself stuck. So we now have sellers got caught at 85. If they transition this, they'll need a break of 20s to get up to 47s. And then we'll see how they act if and when they get up there. Niche, yeah, niche. Tank, that's where I used to play. Play at Tank and then whatever that huge party used to do once a year in that big warehouse was. I'm from Sussex, actually, originally, not Berkshire. Or Berkshire. Berkshire. All right, here we go. VPOC here. Come on, just either go a fucking direction so I can do something. Ugh. So 50s and 60s coming up where the sellers got caught into the VWAPs. And if they let go of that, then 20s. All right, this node here. So if you're still short, you look good. Just make sure you've paid yourself here. Oh, I'm absolutely devastated here if they let go of this whole thing. $50s and $60s coming. They're bidding 50s and 60s. So hopefully you get a flush to cover some into here for you. VWAP here on ES. 86 is taken. You're very, very close to these levels now, folks. They're still trying to sell down here. They're trying to get back down to 50s and 60s. And like I said, if you lose that 20s, let's put this on just so you can remember it, because I'll keep forgetting it. These are the levels, right? This here is your cover, then here, and then here if you get lucky. Just be careful because we haven't really had a significant pullback. So if they wash and reclaim, it will be aggressive to the upside on a squeeze. If they keep shorting the lows here, VPOC right now is at 90. All right, so we moved it down to 90, which is also value area high for the developing week. Out for 1,000. Nice work, folks. Yeah, as long as you guys are making sure you're paying yourself, I'm going to have to wait for something either way. Oh, it's painful. It's painful. Luckily, I had a really good pre-market. Any tips for fighting FOMO? Just do not trade. Like, ignore all areas until you come into a level. You see how I ignored absolutely all of this, and I said we'll wait for either a breakout or a fail breakout. If we had more excess there, that would have been really good. I wouldn't have even looked for the trap. But the fact that we didn't leave much excess there was a little bit dirty, if I'm honest. Just ignore trading in areas that you don't have marked out, and that will stop FOMO. And then just wait for the next setup. You have to wait. Yeah, you guys getting that Tyson trade right. Here's the squeeze back up. So, back through the 25Ks. Do they come and visit 50s, 40s, and 50s now? So, grey box held. ES finding a bid off New York VWAP. SPY finding a bid. We didn't quite make it. Grey box held, like we talked about. This level here now is going to be absolutely vital. This is where the buyer got stuck. All right, back above here, they're going to squeeze all the way up. Into here, they can resell it. So this is the level we're watching now, okay? What they do here, do they lift or do they come right back down? That's what I'd be watching for. It's a shame we didn't quite make it to the bottom side of this box. It's a strong reaction, and we're going to come up towards these 49s and 50s, I would imagine. And then it's all about if they want to really start ripping it without offering the pullback or not. So we're coming into this level. Remember, 45s and 50s is where the buyer got stuck. If we get back above him, there is a chance for this to squeeze back up to the top area where we failed from. Here's the test of 45 and 50s. And what they do next becomes important. It's the reaction now that matters. Do we have failed follow through and trade back downside and hold these shorts? So far looking good. So I've got a one lot on here short side, and we'll see if we can just flush down a little bit. Here we go. Covering a little piece into this shelf here. There's a little imbalance here at 23s. I'd like us to get back down to 15s and below. Stop break even in case they want to swipe out this player above 54s. But we just retrap bulls there. I'm short here at the moment. Nice. Can we get follow through? If there's no follow through, I'll cut break even, which is about to come up here. God, it's left me in by a tick. 41s is my stop. That's my BE. I'm going to take me out. Oh, missed me again. Miss me again. I'm trying to play this guy's plane. Miss me again. might get lucky here. Might get lucky here. Looking for a return back to 25,000. Let's go. Let it go now. Get under these 20s. Need this shelf at 20 to let go. There. Keep trying to bid 20s. Let go 20s, you bastard. Big battle here. Hard stopping at 41. Will not hold it out. We'll happily... Oh. How many days? How many days are they going to do this to me? How many fucking days are they going to do this to me? How many days are you going to do this to me? There's the imbalance. All right, so there's that first tag of the imbalance, which was first TP and then down to here. Is all I wanted. Okay, so still watching this. This is where the buyer's caught. I'll make this clear. Buyer is currently caught here. All right, so I was playing his pain. We revisited the exact level at 45. So I got short on the reverse back down. Knocked out break even, waiting now. If we reclaim value, then we are probably going to rise all the way back up to this ledge here. So you can be short here for a new leg down. You'd have to be covering into some of these imbalances. If they reclaim 50s, then there's probably a shove up to 100. But right now, I would stay short. I got knocked out. I'd currently stay short. Oh, It is just that fucking week for me. It's just going to keep happening, I can tell. It is just going to be one of those weeks. I'll give this space again. Out of bullets. I mean, I'm not out of bullets, but I'm up very nice on the day. I can probably have one more good attempt. How are we doing? We've got 25 minutes left and probably have one more good attempt. It's been a tough week. I think it's not been a bad week. It's been a pretty good week. Been a pretty good week. We are starting to base here, though. Like, I have got to be aware of this on the H1, right? If we hold this, it could be very bullish, right? Pullback, holding this could be very bullish. Could be very, very bullish here. Depends if they want to do that move today or they're going to save it for Monday. Back to this same level of value. Are they going to lift through this level of value and squeeze right back up, or are they going to resell against this trap buyer? It's a huge higher time frame level here where they have to make a decision. So that buyer's still stuck right now. So they knocked me out just to fuck me, I wonder. If that buyer comes unstuck, then you might get a squeeze up. All right, I'm going to think about this long now then. There's the clear out of that buyer. Can we hold a bid now above 50s and squeeze right the way back up to 100? So in long, are we going to squeeze now? We've got to hold a bid here now. Above 50s, really. Where's that imbalance? 43s. Value area high here, pushing value area high up, which is good. There's a little node here into 64s. If we get acceptance over that, I think we're going to go 100s pretty quick. And the test of 62, 63, 64. And can we get acceptance over this now? For a squeeze back up to 100. Big level here. Paying myself some into this. Big sellers trying to come in here. Nice absorption there into 60s. We might be going there. There's a good absorption there. Back to 60s again. They've got to step on a tape and hold this. My stop's in the money now. I'm looking for now a rinse all the way up to 95 to 100. All right, up into here now. Nice. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Finally. Finally something fucking going for me. All right, back into IB high. And I want to see us test this big seller up here. The big seller is at 94. So I'd love us to get up to 94. And I would expect them to reject up there. So you can pay yourself here no matter what into this IB. Somewhere up here is a good chance we reject. Higher time frames looking more and more and more bullish by the minute, folks. When I talked about that move down here on the hourly. Where's my hourly? All right, this is looking more and more bullish. All right, multiple leg, breakout. That pullback just held that pivot. If we find acceptance through here, that naked point of control is possible, or at least into part of this shelf. It's very, very possible. On the options chain, where could we lift into? Let's see, next exposure. 205 and then 330s, which is basically the 20-day and the previous week point of control. I mean, that would be a hell of a move to do today, but like I said, it's OPEX. You can't rule it out right now. Right, IB now tagged. Looking good. So make sure you've paid yourself something into here, folks. There is a good chance this is the first test. Remember, we didn't test this when we failed, which is what I was waiting to fade. We haven't tested this. This is the first test of this. Now, I would expect us to fail up here and maybe do this, and then they will make their decision. All right. If they squeeze through it, Fantastic. We will then look for this same move back to POC, naked POC from previous week, right? Naked POC from previous week, if we do it. But we're going to sell like a good chunk of our position here no matter what. Seems like this could be a bull trap leg. On what time frame? On the hourly, I don't think so. It's in the area where I'd like to see that bull trap, but it's not a fresh level anymore, right? Right, so if you've read the weekly newsletter, we were looking for a bull trap up here to sell. We just held, though, this low. They protected this area. We've now broken out, held. All right, what's more likely now is a visit somewhere in here. All right, do they sell this? Very possible, okay, for next week. But at the moment, it looks like we're in a big old squeeze. But like I said, we must pay ourselves into this block. Right, and if we base over, we get a continuation. I don't know if we do that today, but we're positioned in case. So all these guys can fucking laugh at me and talk a load of shit, but you know, I understand how the market moves and operates. What's my average size? Depends on the size of the account, my friend. It all depends on the size of account and how much of a buffer I've got. It's irrelevant otherwise, you know. You shouldn't trade a 25k or a 50k account the same way you trade a 100k or 300k account, and it all depends on the buffer. If you're trading a 50k, I would advise you start in this market. 1 micro is enough. 1, 2, 3 micro is more than enough. You're getting multiple 100-point moves. Here we go. So into TP, if we start squeezing here, to the guy in chat, just okay, here we go. So squeezy squeeze. And if we base above this, I tell you what, all these guys are going to get fucked. Because it's a high time frame pullback which is held, and we might be looking for up here, folks. Can I explain excess, why I didn't like the short? Yeah, so in here, we did not trap enough buyers, all right, for me personally. So when we look at this high, right, at the top of this was actually some sellers. What I would have liked to have seen is all of this, all been buyers, and maybe clear out a little bit higher, and huge buy side in here. I would have liked a big buyer stuck in here, right? That would be my preference when I'm looking for the short. So if we think about the low of day today, it was probably exactly the opposite to what I just said. Let me come down. Where's our low of day? Down, 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 down. Okay. This here, these sellers, and in fact, this is bollocks because on NinjaTrader, this is all selling. So I don't know how it's aggregated this. This was all selling at the lows, all right? So market selling at the lows, which means passive buyers absorb to go upside. That's the type of thing I would want, which, let me try and show you on NT. All right, here, this was the low, right? Sell, 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 and we reversed off it. Okay, we reversed off it. Big sell delta. That's the type of excess I want at a high or a low of the market. What I don't want is just a tiny wick with, you know, both buyers and sellers in. It's not preferable. So that's your first reaction. So you should have locked a lot in here. If we start to build out liquidity here, then I would imagine we will move higher. All right, it's possible that they need to pull back now and set a higher low, but if they don't, they will either just set the squeeze. We will just keep going and going and going and going and going and going, and you get the point. How were sellers trapped? They sold here. They sold too aggressively into the gray area, which we know is a huge level for buyers to hold. All right, so when they sell too aggressively, they sold here. Okay, and then what they did was they tried to defend this area here where a buyer was stuck. So they defended it, so they added here, and once we broke above that level, we now have all these sellers stuck, and we're coming up to where the buyers are now stuck. Buyers got caught up here, and if we find acceptance over that, we will continue to squeeze. This is very steep though. It would not surprise me if it needs to pull back into here before it does this move, or maybe it collapses the whole thing. That's why we pay ourselves. High of day or further. Yep, like very, very probable further at this point if we base above. Very, very, very probable further if we base above. It's a big if coming into the top side of this grey box. If we base above here, then it's very probable that we go much, much further. We're into these thick areas, right? This is where you've got to be locking in profits. You do not want to be a new money long up here. You would need a breakout and a hold to add now. Remember, we're extended off this move up. We can afford a steep pullback if it wants to. We're extended from the flow zones. It may be that they just keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, but it can afford a deep pullback here. They're trying to put a bit of a wall up into 20, which is the top of that grey box. So let's see if they hold sort of IB or value area high on a pullback. Do they hold a dip into sort of 85s or 80s to build that sort of inverse head and shoulders quasi? Or do we just fail here and collapse the whole thing? Moment, they're holding every single micro pullback. It looks like they're just going to rip through 20s. It looks like we're just going to keep ripping here at the moment. This is the guy at 20s. He's trying to protect 20s. They're reloading the sellers at 20s. A break through 20s will get us going to the upside here. Will cause a big old squeeze. Here we go. They're testing this 20 guy. They're adding liquidity at 30s now, so I think we're going to lift. Here comes the lift. Shut your fucking mouth, you amateur in chat talking shit to someone giving you stuff like this for free. It really pisses me off how much I give for free and how much I get hate from a troll in chat who knows absolutely nothing. Stop your ego, Alex. Not nice. Not nice. Stop your ego. Calm down, Alex. Calm down. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. They follow a 65-year-old white-haired man that got kidnapped in a white van and told how the market works by God. Okay. So let's see, folks. You never know, right? You just never know. I'll be watching 25,200s now and then all the way up to the naked POC. Right, so grey box held, like we talked about. This was your cover point. All right, big pivot, trapped. We can go over this here now. I can go over this now. All right, this is the importance of understanding. Right, big buyer trapped here. Came into grey box. Sellers sold the lows of grey box. We pivot up. We test this big buyer. This is where I first tried the reshort. Okay, so I'd got short here, back into here, right? Looking for this swim back down to test these levels. They absorbed the tape and I was like, okay, well, then they want to go higher then, which is fine. So once we then pivot above this buyer, it means the sellers who attacked this level like me, but are not patient or not disciplined enough to stop out or take profit, well, they are about to get squeezed because their stops now live where this buyer is. We can see the buyer here, and then we squeeze up. We come and test this seller here. All right, we test this seller, we pull back off it, we absorb off it. Buyers are now in control. Now the question is, can they let these buyers out at high of day and start squeezing higher? Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. I did my best to explain that numerous times today. I tried my best to explain it while I'm actually trading and executing. It's not an easy job to do, folks, but hopefully when you're on this stream with me, you're trying to at least learn and understand. So the question now is, do pullbacks hold into sort of 100s? All right, they can afford to come back to IB if they really want. But really, if you're still long, you'd want this box here to hold and just do that. All right, because if you fail this to IB, it is a chance to come back down into here. It's very steep. So I would not let it come under 100 now. You'd want it to hold 100. Yeah, 100. It needs to hold 100, really. There is an imbalance down to 93 if you wanted to be very specific, but sellers got caught at 104s and 95. So I guess you could afford to like give it to 90 if you wanted, but I would personally, I'd want it to hold 100. Thank you for explaining. You're welcome. Your TradingView footprint is showing Delta only, Alex. Net volume. Put in a request to TradingView to have Delta and volume. No. I have it on Delta only on purpose. I choose to have that. I don't care about volume. I care about the Delta. Okay, so 100 test here. Like I said, They might well come down to sort of 90 and 85s, but it's up to you how you want to operate your stop. But I would want this to absorb here at 100 around this grey box to go higher. Do you have to pay for order flow for Ninja? No, if you're trading with prop firms, you can actually get it for free. There is a free video on my YouTube on how to set that up. I'll catch up with what you guys are saying in chat. We'll do some giveaways in a minute as well. Big thanks, just joined. Learn more from watching this morning lives than I've watched in months of videos, books, and my own practice. That's good to know. I'm glad my teaching helps. Made $2,800 out if you call out. Good work. Good work. Where would I re-enter? The only re-entry for me now, all right, really, if I'm honest with you, you need to see a break above and a hold. This is what we were talking about before, right? You need to see a break above and a hold, all right? You want to break above this shelf and a hold, and then you can think about the move to 200 and up to 360s, all right? That is the only re-entry. But just remember one thing. If you are going to take that, you are buying premium, all right? You're not buying discount. What we just had here was an offer back to discount, wasn't it? All right? We went from premium or fair value. We went from premium to fair value. We're back to premium. This technically is fair value at the moment because we've shifted point control up here. So if they deem this fair value, then this move looks better and better if we can base above. So I missed the short. All right, so transparency today. I tried to take this little, what I thought might work as a little run of stops to come and clear this out. Stopped out. Waited for the return back in to get short, missed this whole thing, got very, very upset, took the short from here to here, took the break even, realized they were going to use his pain, got long, and then that's it. All right, so that's the trade. So I missed this, but I got this, and we'll see what happens now. I've seen the play, but I have a hard time reversing my trades. Okay, so here's how the easiest way to reverse your trades. Watch the higher time frame. Why did I suddenly think, I think we're going to be bullish here? It was the hourly, right? It was the hourly. It wasn't the lower time frame, right? It was this. Think about what we've done today, all right? That's Wednesday's high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, sweep, take out the liquidity, run all these stops, but held the key level. Big reversal candle, all right? Run the stops, pull back, held. Once that pullback held grey box, we should have been thinking get long, all right? I should have instantly been thinking get long. And it took me, what, 2-3 minutes? It took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 minutes to realize, okay, we're going to go long. Now they are trying to do this. I don't know whether they can do it, but that's what they are trying to do. It might be that they can't do that this week. We're running out of time. It's Friday. It might be that we do this week, that we do this next week, that we come here and then we resell it back down. It might very well be that because that's where all the buyers are trapped, right? But we'll see. But the easiest way to like think about reversing a position is by watching the higher time frame. Do you try and observe similar action in ES or do you assume 100% correlation? I never assume 100% correlation because we will never have 100% correlation because the broader market is always different. Where's my FinViz? So why do we have relative weakness today? We've talked about it multiple times, all right? Right, well, if you want to call it SMT or whatever you want to call it, this is why healthcare's down, energy's down, and some finance is down. All right, so they will not operate the same way. right? But look at Google, Meta, Amazon. Where are these weighted more heavily? NQ. So NQ has relative strength. So if we're going to be a buyer, it's much easier to be a buyer in NQ today than it is to be a buyer in ES because we have relative strength. Excellent live session, and it's rarely online, but I appreciate it. Great learning. You're welcome. What's the indicator you're using for the bubbles on TradingView? I don't have any bubbles on TradingView, but we are developing, or if someone in our chat is developing one at the moment, but I don't have any. This is not bubbles. This is footprint. Again, there's videos on my YouTube on how to use that and how to find it for TradingView. Do you ever watch economic data or do you just trade off the charts? Yeah, of course. I watch the data. I look at the prints, but what I don't do is make my bias for the day off the economic data. All right, that I'm telling you, that's a mug's game. It's a mug's game. Why is it a mug's game? Unless it is an outlier data is already priced in. All right, unless we have a big outlying print, like if we expect no rate cut and we get a rate cut, we are going to move. If we expect a rate cut and we get a hike, which they talked about on Wednesday, in the FOMC minutes, some people are thinking about a hike, then we're going to get a move. But right now, they are cooking the books. You have to understand they are cooking the books. We're in a midterm election year. Do you think they're going to tell you the truth about the state of the economy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're going to do everything they can to save the economy, all right? So they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to cook the books, and it's going to be priced in unless it's an outlier. The same as like those of you who play earnings, and you're like, earnings are really good. Why did we go down? It was priced in. We knew earnings were going to be good. We ran it up the week before, and we sell on the news because retail becomes liquidity. So understand that concept. If it's an outlier event, absolutely, I think about it. If there's enough data that's saying, hey, there's no way we're going to even get 2 rate cuts this year, then yes, I would think about it. But otherwise, don't pay too much attention to it. Just know that it's going to provide liquidity for the market to move. How easy is it to learn the strategy in the course? What exactly does your indicator do? The indicator shows, well, I mean, it's a lot. It shows current momentum, multi-time frame momentum, and it shows you the daily, week, and weekly levels, as well as your initial balance, your Globex range, your opening range, and yeah, it's a very powerful tool, especially useful for beginner traders. All right, failing this box up here for now. Like I said, they might want to come and revisit some of this. We will see. I'm out of this now. Just let it do whatever it wants. They might do that trap we talked about earlier, because think about what would that look like? Something like this. If they want to do it, they'll have to do that. But we lack liquidity. We're very thin in here. So they need to find a bid here and reclaim. If they don't, they will come right back down to where we have liquidity. I would not be playing this long personally now unless you saw that. And you'd have to understand you're buying high of day, most premium price on the day and on the week, to be honest. Thoughts on trading bots? I don't know. If you can get one to work, great. I think they're pretty hard to get. Really good ones. I think most of them are pretty tough to get going. See you next week, bro. 2k euros, enough for me. Hope you made some profit. Yeah, nice one, mate. bro. Good one. Long term, do you think we trend higher from here or a rotation? Have a look. I don't. Long term, I still don't. I think it might be a mean reversion. All right, I'll show you. I think it's possible that we mean revert up to an area of volume. All right, so by Monday next week, maybe here. Remember, naked POC, 20-day. All right, maybe we come back into here and maybe we see some sell from here and they try and attack these. Remember, we still got to take out these stops, and this is where we'd get a liquidation event under here. All right, that's what I think is likely to happen. where would I change my thought process? Because we still have all these buyers trapped up here. My thought process, I guess, would change if we started to pivot and comfortably hold up here, and definitely if we reclaim this. But until we reclaim this, the market is bearish because we have a lot of trap volume. Understand, this is trapped since, what was this, October? Yeah, end of October. These are all the buyers caught right now. Most of them are caught here. We have excess at the highs. All right. Until we reclaim that, I'm not really bullish. I'm thinking this can happen. And mean reversion to 20-day would be normal. All right. 2 standard deviations. And then we'll come back down while we give room for everything else. Okay. I can give you some other examples of when we do stuff like this. Right, off lower Bollinger Band, mean reversion to 20-day, resell it. 20-day, resell it. Get the point? I can keep finding you bear markets that do it. Like, it's very, very common. 20-day, resell it. All right, it's just how we operate. You don't want to sell the lows, right? So they're looking for that mean reversion back into a key area. If we reclaim, I will pivot. All right, if we reclaim, I will pivot and I'll be looking for something else. But you know. We'll go over it all in the weekly newsletter, folks. Please do not remove that. I need that. All right, how long left? Should we do some giveaways? We're into lunch. I didn't even realize. Alex, is lucid trading any good? Bro. It's so good. Use my code, bro. Yeah, it's really good. It's 50% off right now. For 2 accounts. You can only get 2 accounts for 50% off. Use code FCT and get you 50% off. I've got a video on it. It goes through all the different accounts. You can choose which one you like. Is there a way to set up footprint for Tradeify like you do for Ninja? Yes, there is. I don't know how to do it, but there is. I don't use Tradeify. Thanks so much for the streams, mate. How do we join the Discord? It comes for free if you do the 20-hour course, right? The course, if you use the Linktree at the top, pinned on the chat, the course is 20 hours, $6.99. You get a version of the indicators and Discord, all one-time fee. All right, no monthly fee. That's how you get it. Could this be a double top? It absolutely could be. It could be we're failing this level up here, but like I said, we're thin, right, down to here. So if they don't hold a bid here, we will probably come back down to this area, and then they will need to see if they build liquidity here for a rebid, or if they fail this again and come straight back into all of this. So I'm done for the day. We are going to do some giveaways, though, because I've not had a chance to do it yet. Hey, guys! I haven't said it yet. Wait, bro. Wait, I haven't done it yet. You're all typing a code, and it was not going to help you, bro. One setup for life, bruh. One setup for life, bruh. What if the market doesn't set up like that, bruh? What if it's a different setup, bruh? Bruh. All right, first thing we're going to do is give away a course, okay? Type course once in chat, please. It's a beginner course. It's only 2 hours long, but if you've never traded before, it's a great place to start, bruh. All right, so course in chat, just type it once. Please don't spam. Course, bruh. Oh, Alex is on one today. Alex is absolutely on one today. It's Friday. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. R.I.P. Nightcrawlers. What a legend John was. All right, give you guys 10 more seconds. We'll pull this winner. All right, here comes the winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Billy Zero. Are you here, Billy Zero? Billy Zero. Billy 02768. Let me know you're here, Billy. Let me know you're here, bruh. Yeah, if he's not on, we'll roll again, but give him some time. Billy 02768. Are you here? Let me know you are in chat. I'll give you another 30 seconds. There you are. Hell yeah, bruh. All right, dude. Just shoot me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in. All right, and I will sort you out a free beginner course. If you complete that course, you get a bit of money off the full course if you do want to do it. No pressure. If you already know how to trade and it's too easy for you, you can always give it to a friend as a gift. No problem with you doing that at all. All right, so info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in. And the last giveaway of the day, free Apex account. Use code FCT for Apex. 90% sale off. It finishes next week, early next week. But you can use that right now. Type FCT in chat once. Did someone say, do I have any love for trance? Not really. Not really. I used to do some records at Armada with Armin van Buren and that, but trance not really my thing. Although I did make a record once, which was called Give Trance a Chance. But I sold it to Eli Brown, and he put it out. I can't remember what it was. He put it out as something else. Forget what it was called. You own Big Speaker Music. Let me have a look at that. Nice, dude. Good for you. Binary Finery. Oh, what a tune, man. Okay, gonna pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. GTA 6 rumors. Are you here? GTA 6 rumors. FCT on Lucid. I think it's good till March. Posted it yesterday. I think it's good till March. Let me just check for you. Yeah, March 4th. So you got time. You got time for that, but you can only get 2 accounts. GTA 6 rumors. Okay, they're through this. This is not a good look. All right, they're through this already. They're going to come back and dance for this. This is going to be a trade today. We're going to bounce between here until they're done with it. GTA 6 rumors. You got 30 seconds, my friend, to let me know you're here. Bruh, 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 bruh. There he is. That's me. Bruh, bruh, bruh. All right. Nice. Thanks, dude. Congratulations. Free Apex account on its way to you. Same as for Billy. Just shoot me an email, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. And I will sort you out with a free account. Just send me a screenshot of you logged in so I can see you. Yeah, new channel slogan. Fair value gap, bruh, 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 bruh. Inverse, bruh, 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 bruh. All right, we're done. We're out of here. This is OPEX. This thing's going to fucking wash everyone out both ways, I think. I will give you the levels so that you have them before I go. All right, just so that you have them before I go. Let's give you them on this 5-minute chart here. These are your walls. All right, these are your walls that you're trading between. We get very, very volatile around 9.15, right? Above 9.15, technically, Gamma exposure is bullish, but again, expiry today. If you come under it, you haven't really got much. You've got a put wall right there. All right, so they want to absorb 915. If you let go of 915, this is still in play from earlier today, but we already tagged it and hit it. We haven't managed to lift up to 25,200. We keep getting stuck at that same level from Wednesday without any notable excess. Kind of interesting that they don't do that. We'll see what we get next week. For me, I'm still looking for downside pressure in the market, but I kind of, now that they've built this out, we'll talk about it in the newsletter, but I would actually prefer now if they lift it in towards 300. It's going to be a much easier trade next week if they do that. Thanks, Alex. I was able to build up my confidence this week. I scored 3 times as many points as you every day. And that gives me certainty that I'm good. Nice work, buddy. Do you feel that Bookmap helps you taking trades, then you understanding market structure and price action? Just asking because I'm thinking about purchasing Bookmap. Look, Footprint's good. You want to watch Footprint when we come into a key level, right? You don't. Same with Bookmap. You don't need to watch it all the time, right? So it's good if you're looking for a long here. It's good if you're looking for trap sellers to go up. If you're looking for trap buyers to go down. If you're looking for trap sellers to go up. If buyers keep bidding this, all right, and we're seeing sell pressure, then you look good to go down to the next level. So it's good for understanding what's happening inside these areas. It will give you edge inside those areas. You don't need it for all of this, right? You need it for executing from here to here, here to here, here to here, etc., etc. You don't need it for all of this, in my opinion. Do you feel that Bookmap... Sorry, just reading the lesson one. Do you do the weekly planning on your YouTube? No, it's in a newsletter. Links at the top of chat. It's completely free. Alex, I just pulled an account from $10 to 200 profit. Nice work, man. Yes, there's a tutorial on YouTube for Footprint on TradingView. It's on there. Feel like you got stopped out by a tick or two just for it to continue this week. Like literally, it happened to me so many times this week. Look, we're finding a little bid in this node here again. Okay, so if they hold this, they will try and bid right back up. So I guess over 27s. I'm not watching the order flow at this point, but you'd want to be careful now for the rest of the day. I'm just going to read those last few messages, and we're going to do a class in Discord. Alex, do you think this week was difficult to trade? The backside of the week was a bit choppy yesterday and today because of OPEX. The front side of the week was pretty good. Apex don't have access to it, do they not? I'm pretty sure they do. Double check. Go on to check the video. Go on to Tradeify, see if you can turn it on. If not, just buy an account with someone else for cheap. To get a Lucid account, right? This is why I would say this: get the cheap. Even if you don't trade with Lucid, get the cheapest Lucid account because they offer it, and Lucid doesn't have like a time. Don't get a monthly fee. So if you pay like $50 or something, as long as you trade Lucid like once every 30 days or whatever it is, you'll be fine, and then you'll get it for free. I sent you an email. All right, mate. I'll check it all afterwards. I've got to teach a lesson after this. What info do you need to send from YouTube? Just a screenshot of you logged in, Billy, so that I can see that it's you on YouTube. Email me from that, and then I know it's you. Nice work, 3K on the day. Congratulations. Stay at home mum. Nice. Well, congrats, 3K. It's a great day. I just have a 25K account with Apex. I'm at 3,150. Is that? I think over my profit target today was 3,800. Should I stay below 3,500? I don't know what you're asking. 25 account and you're at 3,100, 31,500. Your target. Is it a PA, Danny? Am I on X, yeah, at Flowzone Trader. All my stuff's at Flowzone Trader. Oh, PA 30% rule. Don't worry about it. Like, I wouldn't even worry about giving back money. Just make more money on the next day and the next trade. Don't try and give back money. Just make more money next day. Don't even worry about it. Any more trades for me today? Probably not. Unless they reject this, probably not. On OPEX, honestly, I've had a really good day. You got to remember, I was up thousands before we even started. Right? We absolutely hammered the short together before the stream even started. Like, we don't need anything else. Like, I think I was short of one guy to start. So I was short of one guy to start. And then on the next pop in, I added some size. Added 3 lots in. And covered some. And then re-added. Right, re-added for the breakdown and covered under 700. All right, so like, I don't need to keep forcing it. There's no reason to keep forcing it. Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Those in Discord, can you give me like 5 minutes to grab something to eat, and then we'll do the weekly lesson together. Those on YouTube, thanks for joining. Another great week. Hopefully you've caught multiple 100-point trades with me this week again. Different to the other streams, giving you 5 and 10 pointers, and I'm also trying to teach you as I go. Alex, am I on prop or cash? I'm on both, but mainly cash is for swings, to be honest, mate. I use cash for swing positions. What time do I start? 9:15 each day. 9:15. All right, folks. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, get off the bloody screens. This is just a job. It is not everything. There's a whole world and whole life out there. Do not get fixated on the screens, all right? Make sure you're going and living. And yeah, brah, 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 brah.